So this is a sort of session 14.5. It's occurring
Alright,
between
back.
this session and the next one, and it will be occurring right at the start of the zombies combat, and you guys will next session be returning about near the end of the zombies combat, which everyone else will have been involved in. So that's roughly how the timing is going to work of this in universe.
I missed half of that, but I think I've got enough to get the gist.
At the end of last
Zombies.
session, there was a zombie combat that was starting. Your characters are going to disappear right at the start of that. You are going to have this adventure,
Good.
and then when next session starts on Sunday, then you guys are going to reappear at the end of that combat, having had all of this stuff happen.
Thank God, because like zombies, man, I fucking hate them. I'm not gonna be good against zombies. I just panic and kill myself. Fuck that.
Or you could kill them. That seems like a favorable
Mm.
alternative.
That's a lot. That's a lot of risk there. One scratch, one bite, and you're a zombie.
Not how zombies work here.
It's not how zombies work in the D&D world.
Why are they called zombies?
Because
There's multiple different interpretations of how zombies work across media. These ones,
How do they like infect people?
they don't. The way that
What?
zombies work is you die, and then your body is brought back by necromancy magic, and that is what makes you a zombie. So if a zombie kills you, then you are just a corpse. You will not come back as a zombie unless someone specifically casts a spell to bring you back. So you're
No, better
fine.
not do that shit to me because I can't deal with being a zombie. That's like the whole point of like suicide at the zombie apocalypse. I'm not dealing with that risk.
Gemini, it is not a thing in this universe because that is not how zombies work in this universe.
I'm enjoying this panic attack. It's very funny.
It's still nice to be at the end of the zombie fight, you know, just in case the rules change.
They won't, because that is not how zombies work in D&D-esque systems, and it's not how they will ever work in D&D-esque systems. So
Just
don't worry.
Random question. Is
Yeah.
that like the same in like I know your D&D sessions are very like personalized and
It's
have
the
like
same in
different
original
rules?
D&D as well.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
like no bite, no scratch, only necromancy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if they
Oh,
bite or scratch you,
interesting.
that will deal bludgeoning damage. Maybe poison damage at worst. And then,
Or slashing.
yeah, it will deal
Huh.
some kind of damage. And then you will just take damage, and that will be it. No special effects, no nothing. They are
Oh, that's
just
good.
dumb brutes that wander in and try and hit you. They aren't really anything more scary than that. Zombies
Pretty
are
good.
a pretty big pushover in D&D.
That's really good. I don't mind zombies in D&D now. They're okay.
Yeah.
No suicide here.
Yeah, because then you would lose all of your memories. That isn't really a good idea.
Some have the idea that suicide is never a good idea, but whatever.
Yeah, I forgot that was a good point to make.
But here's the thing. If anyone else in the party dies, then it's a quest to the realm of the dead to get their soul back, and their soul will contain all of their memories. If Gemini dies, her body will remain the same, but she also will lose all trace of any character development that has happened over the course of the adventure. So
Sounds accurate.
it's not really that great of a decision.
It's like you're trying to well, not you, but like the situation is trying to like cure Gemini's apparent depression. Don't kill yourself or you lose all the memories of all the friends and horrible things that happened. But the good things that happened. Like,
I don't think Gemini
I didn't
has
know
depression.
Gemini had depression.
She doesn't. She just, for some fucking reason, decided it would be a good idea to make a bunch of clones of herself and stick them on a necromancer's island.
Maybe she just doesn't have a soul, and that's
Over
why
at Jack's
she-
Island.
Yeah, that is the name of the necromancer there. Thank you for that. Jack, he was a old player character of mine, and now he's being used as a possible villain in the future, but he is also a necromancer who is confined to one island because he, well, is well renowned for being a necromancer, and a very evil one at that.
Would you say he's a jack of all trades?
No, he's good at one thing, which is being a wizard.
So he's a jack of one trade.
That's
Kind of depressing. If your name was Jack, you'd probably want to like do a bunch of different skills.
my name is not Jack because I chose my name, and I didn't choose that name because I wanted something fairly androgynous.
I don't like with people that have the name Jack. I feel like
This
their
is
goal
very
should
much
be a
besides
jack of
the
all
point
trades.
of anything that we are trying to do today.
Yeah. So like, where are we starting? What we
All right.
doing? What do I have to open, by the way? Because are we doing like the
You
same?
need to open your character sheet and also roll
Got that.
20.
Do
Same
I
as
open like
usual.
the current, like the campaign that you have at the moment, or is it a whole new?
It is the
it's
campaign
the
that
same
we
one.
have.
Okay.
Same one. I'm not making an entire new campaign just for one session. Especially considering it's the same characters in the same world, and it's all
I
canon.
mean, I just don't know how Roll20 usually works. I just kind of followed your
I just get to
instructions.
move you guys
So-
onto a new map.
Oh.
So this is a new map that I made. So yeah, I will get some music on and start the session. So, a bunch of zombies appear in front of you. Oh, is that working? Just
I'm
checking.
on the new map.
Hmm?
I'm on the new map. Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. Just trying to get the audio working. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So, a bunch of zombies have appeared in front of the party, and you'll notice that some of them appear to have some strange plant-like growths coming out of various parts of their arms and legs. It looks like they're supporting them and making them a bit stronger, but it also looks like their legs are tied to something deep in the ocean. You feel one of them attempt to grab you. Alright, Senshin, make a grapple check against the zombie to try and break out of its grasp. Alright,
Okay.
let's see. Zombies definitely do not beat that, so you are able to avoid the grapple of that. Gemini, contesting grapple check against a zombie. Alright, well, Gemini manages to dodge out of the way, not with strength, but with a great amount of finesse. And you will see that a few of them get cut down, but they seem to be overwhelming the ship. Interestingly enough, they're paying no attention to most of the other members of the crew, who are trying to stop them, but they seem to be aiming to grab you. Senshin, grapple check with disadvantage.
Oh, that's D12s.
Yep, reroll. Okay, so that is a 10. Let's see, zombies are level 2, which means novice proficiency is half level plus 1, which means plus 2. Alright, so I got a 9, which is lower than your lowest, so you managed to dodge them again. Gemini, grapple check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, that's
Roll 2D. So you roll 2D8 and take the lower number.
2d20.
20. Sorry.
okay. Uh-huh.
Alright.
And that's
So-
novice for grappling. That's +3.
Alright, cool. I've got a plus 2, so that means that mine comes in at 10 and yours also comes in at 10. Alright, roll off again. So you roll again with disadvantage, and I roll again as normal. Okay? Your turn. Alright.
It's
Nice.
11.
So you managed to dodge your way out of the way of the zombies again, but it seems like they're starting to grow in numbers as you feel something about to grasp around your leg. It looks like some kind of vine-like tendril that it looks like the zombie is controlling, as if it's part of its body. Now, this time, zombies have advantage, you have disadvantage. Senshin.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think I can make that with my grapple.
Alright, so the zombies begin to pull you over the ship, and you are currently trying to keep yourself afloat. Gemini, your turn. Alright, well,
With
that is a 8, so you might have a chance. Oh!
Hey, yo.
Well, the
I
nat
rolled
20
good
doesn't
too,
go in, but it still was pretty good. So Gemini, you managed to dodge it, but Senshin has fallen overboard. Do you wish to do something about that? It is your turn.
It's a question of what I can do. I mean, my first thought was like control the water and try and like lift him up with that, but like I don't know if I can do that.
You can try. It will give Senshin advantage on his avoiding the grapple check to see if he can get out, and it will stop him from sinking, which will prevent him from drowning.
Or I could use my levitate spell, float Mr. Goat.
Yeah.
That might actually work a bit better.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Senshin, do you wish to be
Mr. Goat.
levitated by Gemini?
It's better than drowning.
All right. Yeah. So you don't need to make a save. You are just levitated because you agreed to fail the save. So, Senshin, you are now floating about 5 feet above the water. The zombies still are coming onto the boat, though, and it looks like the boat is starting to sink from the weight of all of them. You notice the water coming up and up and up, and it looks like the entire ship is going down. What do you want to do?
A little bit, but
Senshin, your turn.
I'll throw this out, because if they're undead, they're probably going to be weak, so, which one? Actually, yeah.
You can both make a history check if you want to figure out based on your interactions with undead.
I'm going to use, a ultimate technique, which, considering what happened last time, is not good for my health, but, even with the biting blade, Shit! Storm Dragon's Raging Tempest! And just gonna launch out at the biggest group of zombies I can see.
Okay, they are underwater, and you are levitating. You can't actually move unless you are pulling yourself by something, and you are currently in the air, not connected to anything.
It's an ultimate technique, as in, it's the same thing as my, it's similar to my original dodge slash. Let's call it again, my, flash of lightning slash.
Alright, that will grant you some movement, but bear in mind that... Okay, what exactly is the levitate spell worded as? Is it stating that it will keep you at a specific height above the ground, or is it just stating that it will make you hover?
10 feet in the air.
Alright.
And cannot move by walking, can only move by pulling themselves in a direction.
Okay, fair enough.
Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Alright, so I would interpret that as meaning that if you are not holding yourself down, you will naturally float back up to 10 feet above the ground, which in this case would be 10 feet above the water. So you can go further down, but if you do not move, then you will instantly
I'm aiming for the ones that are pulling the ship over.
Oh, they're not pulling the ship over. They're stepping onto the ship.
It's just too heavy to support everything.
Okay, then I'm aiming for the biggest group on the ship.
Alright, fair enough. Let's see. You can probably get about 5 of them without hitting any allies.
Yeah, I'll pull that out. So it's a 30. It is a 2-hit, but it's in a 30 line. So
Okay, fair enough.
that's not great. That's with my Thunderblade, which I have.
Alright. Zombies only have an AC of like 11, so if you can meet or beat that, then you've got it. These guys are not hard to hit.
I barely meet it, but I do meet it.
Fair enough. Alright. Well, in that case, you will see a bunch of
I'm
them
not gonna bother rolling damage. It's gonna beat him.
Yeah, zombies do not have much health either. They are most strong when there are swarms of them. If there isn't a horde of them, they're pretty weak. Alright.
Yeah.
So the ship will stop sinking and will stay in place, but more zombies are climbing up. Gemini, the zombies are going to attempt to grapple you. Roll 2d20. Take the lower one.
Hold on one second. I think I have a... No, wait. I was going to use my Channel Divinity and use, like, Knowledge of the Ages so I can get professional proficiency or, like, add something to this so I don't get grappled, but, yeah.
Alright. Well,
And
Sid,
+3 on that.
considering that the zombies got an 18, they managed to take you overboard. So,
Well, that's not good.
You are not currently drowning, but next round you will begin to be taken underwater slowly. And there's a limit to how long you can survive. I calculated this last session. With that being said, zombies have went. So Gemini, your turn.
Okay, I am going to use my spell Water Wizard,
Alright.
and I'm going to kind of make a hole in the water so it, like, you know, there's pretty much you can see the ground. There's like a big circle, I guess, just way to the ground so no one really drowns.
You can't make a hole that big. This is
Really?
the ocean, and it is very deep.
Just make a straight line down.
You can't make it that deep. This is the ocean. Your water wizard capabilities are able to control, I think, a 30-foot cube of water, if I'm correct. The ocean floor is hundreds or thousands of feet down. You're not going to be able to reach the ground.
I have some buckthorn, but like it needs to be brewed into a tea or in a soup, and like I don't think I have time for that.
You don't. You can hold your breath for 10 rounds. So, Gemini, with your constitution score of +0, you can hold your breath for 1 minute. That means that you can, and you can't survive any additional rounds after that 1 minute while unconscious. Senshin, due to your, due to your +3 to constitution, you can survive for 4 minutes without going unconscious, and then for 3 turns after going unconscious before you have to worry about dying.
And I love being a beefy son of a bitch.
Bear in
Can I
mind,
see any animals? Like, is there anything other than the zombies around me?
the
any
animals
in the
are
water?
sensible enough to have fled from the area, considering the fact that there are hordes of undead who are around, and presumably they're natural predators.
I can't even use wild shape to breathe underwater as an animal. My God.
You can, if you've seen an animal before, you can turn into them. You've seen animals that are underwater before.
I thought I had to like be able to see them.
You have to
At
have
this
seen them.
moment.
You don't have to be able to see them at this exact second.
Yeah, Watch is pretty powerful like that.
If you have
Alright.
ever seen that animal before in real life, then you can turn into it, provided it is not particularly powerful. So, yeah, if
Okay.
you've seen an underwater animal, you can turn into them.
Wait, I've seen a mermaid before, haven't I?
That is not something you can wild shape into, that is humanoid.
Not an animal, that is a people.
I thought that counted because it's got a tail, so it's
No,
kind of
no, it doesn't.
animalistic,
It is
but-
not an animal. By that logic, Taishiro would be an animal, and you can't turn into a Taishiro.
I can make an illusion though.
You can make an illusion, but that doesn't mean you
That
gain
doesn't
the
give me the
physical
ability.
properties of being a null, because you are not one. Alright.
Okay, I think I'm gonna use my wild shape to turn into some sea animal that I have seen. Probably not a whale. Maybe
Okay.
have I seen a? No, wait, not a dolphin. Like a fish of some kind, like a really big fish.
How big are we talking?
As long as my arm.
Okay,
That's a big fish to me.
okay, you turn into a fish as long as your arm. You can breathe underwater. Cool, so that's your turn. Alright, now, Senshin. Gemini is currently a fish, and is currently being grappled by a bunch of zombies. You are currently about 10 feet above the water line, and there are still zombies climbing onto the ship. Liam?
The ship can handle it, she can't. I'm thinking, yeah, that was
Yeah, this is a big thonk situation.
If you can handle the
I don't
ship.
know if we're winning this.
Yeah. But
As long as we can breathe, like, while they drag us to the depths of hell, I don't
Okay.
know. We can break
Um,
the grass or something.
I might need. I don't know if she can hear me to disable the what's it called again? Levitation.
Just to go.
Her head is above the water, so yes, she can hear you. Gemini.
Gemini, disable levitation.
Okay. I just look away, break my concentration immediately, and you fall into the water, probably.
All right.
That was intentional.
All right. You are now in the water. What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna go kill the zombies that are grabbing her.
Okay. So Gemini is currently on one side of the boat. You are on the other side. You manage to swim around, and you are able to get to Gemini and start attacking some of the zombies. Unfortunately, there's enough of a horde there that you can't get directly to her, but you are able to get through one wave. So there are 3 waves worth of zombies between you and Gemini, that being a wave being how many you can possibly kill in one turn. So there are 2 waves left. With that being said, it's the zombies' turn. Gemini, you are a fish. Which means that your strength score probably isn't that great. Which also means that your grappling score probably isn't that great. While you did have a chance to go against the zombies in a grapple contest before, since you are now a fish, you don't get a choice in that, and you are now being taken 40 feet downwards. You can still breathe, but you are 40 feet below the surface now.
Man, this is not fair. I am a
You
fish,
can't
so
talk.
I can swim by myself, zombie.
You cannot talk. You are a fish.
I guess that's her in a monologue.
All right, and
She's a
Senshin,
strong, independent fish.
grapple check with disadvantage.
Being as much, I am in the water.
I got an 11, and you got a...
Eh.
Alright, so you will fail your grapple check, and next turn when the zombies go, they will drag you 40 feet down. Or probably a bit less, considering the fact that, well, you struggle more than Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
I am a fish.
Gemini, your turn. You are a fish. You are currently grappled and 40 feet below the surface.
What can I see?
Let's see. You are a fish, so you should be able to see decently well. You will be able to see a bunch of zombies quite close to you. The area seems to be rather full of them. But you'll notice, strangely, below you in the water, probably about another 60 feet down, you will see a strange light, which looks like the surface of some pool.
Okay. Am I able to do anything as a fish?
Let me think. What can fish normally do?
When?
You
'Cause
are
I'd like
grappled
to
and your movement speed is 0.
I like to try and get a sign out to Senshin, there's something down here. They're dragging me here. I don't know, maybe
Transforming
just let
back
it
might be
happen.
the transforming back is probably the only way I could see that.
I just I don't know, shoot up a shot of water or something, just a
Well,
thumbs
yeah,
up.
you can still use your spells, so
Yeah. No, I don't think I
Technically,
can
no.
as a wild shape.
That's not how wild
Technically, no?
shape works.
isn't it? Fuck, I don't understand wild shape.
You can
As
remain
Starry form,
you
I
can continue
but-
to concentrate on spells that you cast before going into wild shape, but you cannot cast new spells once you are in wild shape.
Oh,
And
so
my
druids really are just for furries, okay.
My starry form could retain my game stats, but I'd only have limits, limited of what I could transform into.
You can
Right.
turn into the starry form. The starry form will not grant you the ability to breathe underwater, however.
Yeah, I could only be an archer, a chalice, or a dragon. So,
Yeah.
I don't think any of those can breathe underwater.
No, none of those can breathe underwater because they just give you specific action buffs. They do not give you any abilities of animals.
I don't know how to get out of this. I'm a damn fish with no power. But I can breathe underwater at least. I won't die there.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll just get eaten by the zombies.
Alright.
Well, they're dragging me towards something. I don't know what they're dragging me towards, but,
Alright.
it's something.
If that's the
Um,
case, do you wish to hold action to do something once you are able to move or do anything particularly helpful?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just
Alright.
a fish.
Alright, Senshin, your turn. You are currently grappled at the surface.
I guess I'll try and either free myself or just try swimming down further to go grab Gemini.
Okay. Well, if you attempt to swim down, the zombies will let you go and will not seem to stop you from swimming down. So you are actually able to swim down a little bit faster. So probably up, you would be able to swim down about 50 feet. Swimming up might be a bit more difficult because the zombies appear to be, well, swimming between you and the surface.
So just take a big gulp of air and swim down max speed.
Alright, so if you're going max speed, then that means that that's 2 rounds.
Look, finding me, I'm a fish. I probably look the same as every other fish.
There's no other fish around, so
There
if I
are
see a
no
fish
fish
struggling
here
in a zombie's
because the-
head, I'm gonna
the
make
fish
a
all
guess.
ran off.
Zombies like a royal fish.
The fish all fucked off because they were smart enough to not stick around to deal with the zombies.
Question: if Gemini
Yeah.
wasn't in her wild shape, would she be able to create like an air pocket by doing like water wizard?
Yes.
Can I transform out of my wild shape?
Yes.
Okay.
Control water. Just to double check, how long does that last for, and does it require mana?
Up to 1 hour.
Up to 1 hour. Okay,
Um,
yeah, that should be absolutely fine, and it shouldn't cause any problems.
1 action.
All right.
Components is a hand gesture.
All right.
I can change colors of the water
Well,
too. It
yep.
doesn't help, but I can do it.
All right. Well,
Alright.
if that's the case, you are now able to breathe because you have set effectively a kind of bubble around your face, so you are able to breathe okay now, despite being a Gemini and not a fish. So now that you are in this situation, would you like to try and yell out to Senshin or make some kind of fuss or anything like that? You are still grappled.
Is Senshin in like? Can I see him at all?
Senshin dove down and was able to get about 50 feet down, or up to 50 feet down, if he chose to. So, yes, you can see Senshin, and he's probably within 10 feet of you.
Okay. Cool. My targeted area within 60 feet, 20-foot cube, so I should be able to reach him. I want to create an air pocket for him as well.
Alright,
That'll
cool.
move with him.
Alright, you managed to create an air pocket that is big enough for the both of you. And the
Good.
zombies will be staying outside of the air pocket, but it looks like Senshin and Gemini, you can see more of them jumping off the ship, and it looks like they're stepping in all of the spaces between you and the surface. It looks like for some absurd reason, they're trying to force you down to the bottom of the ocean. Maybe this is a hunting tactic of theirs? Still not sure why they were specifically worried about the ones that they have down here, though. Surely they'd want a whole ship, but evidently not.
Oh, the plot convenient zombies.
I'm just gonna change colors of the water to make it a question mark just in front of us. Like, I shrug my shoulders.
The zombies are not intelligent to understand the concept of question marks, and so...
Oh no, it's more so to Senshin, like, what the fuck is
You can
is
actually
going
talk
on?
out loud to him. There is
Nice.
air down there.
We can hear each other because, anime.
I guess I'll
no,
still
because
do
you're
the
in an air
question mark
pocket.
and I'll just say what the fuck out aloud.
You're in an air
Mm.
pocket, and you can both breathe and talk, so there's nothing stopping you from breathing and talking.
What the fuck? What are we, like... Where are we going and why? Why us?
And the zombies will just begin sinking down until it looks like some of them are getting into your air pocket, and they will just begin shoving you down, and the weight of them just seems to be shoving you closer and closer to this glowing area. It looks like the surface of something.
Maybe we should just swim into it and save them the hassle of, like, pushing us down, because I think we're going there either way. What do you think?
Well, I think we should get. I think instead of waiting for them to push us, just in case it's a place, we should get in there and get out as fast as possible.
Yeah. So, we
Right,
just
I'm gonna
gonna
grab onto
swim
her. I'm gonna grab her and start swimming because I assume since I'm physically stronger, I can swim way faster than she can.
Alright, so the two of you are able to swim through the surface, and you will see that the zombies will disappear as you fall down what appears to be some kind of waterfall or portal of some kind. At any rate,
Gemini's just gonna be
you
like,
arrive.
"Whee!"
You arrive at the top of a waterfall and fall down it to reach this place here.
Okay.
Well, that happened.
Gemini,
Ow.
roll history.
Okay, this is where I'm gonna use it. Where is it? I had a plan.
Yes, it's called finding a dice and rolling it.
No, I'm gonna use my channel divinity,
Yep.
and use my knowledge of the ages.
Mhm.
So as an action, you choose one skill or tool. For 10 minutes, you gain professional proficiency with this skill or tool.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna do that for my history check.
Alright,
How
cool.
much more is that?
Professional proficiency is half your level plus 3. So at this level, you
That's
guys
plus
are level.
6.
Yeah, okay, plus 6. Thank you.
Quick math.
I'm the guy. I don't actually do the like I don't put numbers in it. I just say my level and do the math in my head.
Fair.
Well, I did.
Fair
So
enough.
that's a 19.
Alright. So, yep, 19. You have been here before, or if not in this exact place, this realm. You recognize it as the Shadowfell, being effectively the underground of the Feywilds. It's also got the same spooky aspect to it, and despite the brightly colored earth around you, you'll notice that it is rather dark. You can't see anyone. All you can hear is the sound of water lapping up against the surface right here. You see a building next to you. It looks to be some kind of official one, but you can't really picture any more than that. It's
The hell is
strange.
this?
Apparently a place that I've been before. My brain's doing a memory moment and looks a little bit familiar. It's basically relay all the information you told me, Alex. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, fair enough.
Just so I don't have to repeat it all.
That's fair.
Yes. That is the gist of it. I am all knowing.
Right, so we're underground in a whole different dimension. Fantastic.
Yeah, and if this is anywhere near the Sealy Court, did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. If it's anywhere near that, we should get the hell out. They
You
don't
would
really
be
like
aware
me.
that the underground, that being the Shadowfell here, is directly underneath everything else in the Feywilds. You don't know whether you're currently underneath the Sealy or Unsealy Court, but actually, roll another history check. You might be able to determine where you are.
This is within the same 10 minutes, right?
Yes, it is. So you still have
Okay.
professional proficiency.
Awesome.
It's probably within the same minute. Alright, nice. So you would recognize that this water is purple. And that is significant because a lot of the waters in the Unsealy Court are purple rather than blue. It's a strange phenomena to do with a lot of the plant life that grows near them that tints them this color. It doesn't have any strange effects on people more so than any other water in the Feywilds, but it isn't exactly ideal. Now, you guys came in with within an air pocket, so you wouldn't have swallowed anything, so that's good. I just need to keep notes of some of that stuff. But you are currently, this area is underneath the Unsealy Court. You figure that if you head far enough in the opposite direction, you might find the area that's underneath the Sealy Court. So that's roughly the half of the Feywilds that you're underneath right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna put my hands together, kind of like in a praying motion of like, so this is the deal. We're in a place that's underneath, I guess, the people that don't really mind me. I didn't piss these people off, I don't think. But they're still not the greatest of the Fae. They're the Unsealy Court. Purple water, purple mines, I guess. Yeah, you get the gist of it. We stay near like the purple water and stay in this kind of area, and we probably won't run into people of the Sealy Court that live above. because we're underneath the Unseelie Court. But if we do venture to that area, we need to be on guard because, well, I pissed off the queen. Just because I was
Gemini-
better than her, I mean...
Gemini.
Gemini, they don't really like my kind anyway, so I don't think I should be too
really?
worried.
Gemini,
good.
you
Yeah.
would remember that you don't know many, if any, people in the Unseelie Court. You know that the court, that being the royal court, has a problem with you in the Seelie realm. However, there are also a bunch of revolutionaries there that do potentially like you. So here, you're likely not to run into anyone that you know. In the Seelie Court, you are more likely to run into people that you know, but there's also a high chance that they might not like you.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there
because
are some
of
people
them
who
might
are
be-
actually on your side in the Seelie Court, but it's a bit riskier, obviously.
Because gotta remember that the people did vote for me at first. They thought I'd be a good queen, and then they took another vote because the queen was a bit hot-headed, jealous.
Well,
so-
she is a fae. What can you expect of them? They do tend to have an ego problem.
They're tricky, tricky people, but we should be fine for now, I guess. I guess that's very take it with a big grain of salt there. But
You will
at
see
least I know a little bit.
you will see an older woman hobbling towards you, and she will go, "Are you all right there, Sonny? Little one?"
That's
I
fine.
know.
This takes more than this to kill me.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
good. I've seen quite a few people get killed coming down this water. You didn't swallow any, did you?
No.
Heads are
Good.
stuck in an air pocket.
Is there
Good.
something in the water that I should be scared of?
Why, yes. And you will just see the lady come a little bit closer, and you will recognize her as a dark elf or drow. She has very pale skin, looks like she hasn't been up to the surface in the entirety of her life, and she looks to be fairly sturdy despite her evident age, and appears to have a kindly looking face. She walks with a large cane. Well, the water, you know, it's sap from the great tree. It has some strange effects on outsiders, though. If you aren't of these realms, I'd suggest you keep careful. You do have some water of your own, right?
My-
No.
I lose my
think I
water
do.
skin. I'm good.
I mean, do I? I think maybe I do. Backpack. Where is it?
I think I
Where
have
is
2
it?
water
Yeah,
skins on me, so I should be
Yeah.
fine.
I have 2 water skins. We should be fine. I mean,
Excellent.
we
Just
didn't
gotta
really
wish.
plan this trip. It just kind of
Happened.
happened. A zombie horde. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
Zombies.
Have you seen any? Like here?
Oh, I don't know of specifically zombies, since necromancy itself is, well, strongly forbidden, but there are a lot of cases of, well, myconids or plant creatures that gather up the corpses of other beings. It's rather common to find groups of sentient vines that will take a corpse of someone who has been buried and control it. That's likely what you ran into. They tend to be
Yeah.
quite vicious near the portals.
Why the hell were they
They're
hunting me?
alive.
And they
Why
were
would
targeting
choose
us?
And they didn't choose anyone else on like the ship we're on. We had friends there, and they're probably worried about us.
They
especially if
typically
we're
attack
together.
people with strong associations with the Feywilds, or people that they deem to be, well, powerful enough to present a useful addition to their plant life. Typically, strong bodies with strong bones and blood are used because they can strengthen them.
Sounds like
Gemini's
me,
gonna
alright.
start
Not
flexing
all
and be
plants
like,
only eat
definitely
plants
for the-
or sunlight, you know. Plenty of them will eat people if given the chance. It's likely that
Well-
you are either brought here on orders of, well, the great Dryad herself, or you were brought here because some of those myconids decided that they were hungry.
I mean, they didn't need us.
Well,
and as
you
soon as he
you
started
definitely
putting
fulfilled the
down-
Feywild's half of it, I think, and I'm most certainly the strong body thing.
I mean, I'm a strong body. Look at these muscles. I'm just start flexing. And it's a good point to make that when you started swimming down towards me in the portal, the zombies left you alone. Almost as if they kind of wanted us to go in that
Get in
portal.
here. Yeah.
The Great Dryad, is that what they are to be called by, I guess?
Why,
Um,
yes. Their true name isn't exactly well known. Well, for obvious reasons. Most true names are kept rather secret. But yes, they are the great tree, the large tree in the center mass of the Feywilds. They control all things that happen here. They're aware of all things that happen here. And she will just lean in a little bit closer to Gemini and will just go, be very careful that you don't drink any water from here. Once it's in your system, it will prevent you from lying, but it will also make it so that every word that you say is monitored by them.
oh, thank you for the tip. I will use water conservatively now.
Your water is fine, and other drinks which have been, well, better brewed and had, well, and have been heavily boiled typically don't have at least the same strong effect. So if you are to drink anything from here, make sure that ideally it is not water, and if it is, make sure that you boil it. There's actually a
Yeah.
fruit that we, well, we rebels of the upside will sometimes use. It's called Belize fruit. Very good for drawing out toxins in whatever it's included in.
Wow. Do you happen to have any seeds or samplings of that I could maybe
Yes,
take with
yes,
me?
of course. Come with me,
Ah,
I can show
thank
you
you.
some of it.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. And just quickly, the Great Dryad, do you think they'd be pissed that we're here? And,
Hmm?
if it was on orders, the zombies to take us here, are we in immediate danger at all, do you think?
Hmm. The Great Dryad will often, well, they'll often just demand people to come back here if they have any connection with the Feywilds. Bit of a, well, bit xenophiliac, if you get my gist. Has a problem with the outside world and all the people that live out there. So, no, if she brought you here, it's likely because she considers you to be, well, one of the Fey and not someone who should be sent out. Either
Yeah,
that or
yeah.
either that or the Myconids just got hungry. They don't bring all people here on orders. That's just one of the reasons people might show up.
Okay. All right.
If I
I
were
think
you, I'd
we're
advise you
relatively safe.
not to interact with the upper echelons of this society too much. It tends to only lead to harm. If you can find a back door to sneak out of, that would be smarter.
Is that why you're down here? I mean, underground? Did you, not like the people up there?
I'm
Didn't
a
want to be
drow.
part of
I
them?
live underground by nature. I came here through a portal by accident. Of course, I know there are other portals that I can go back through if I so choose. It's not particularly difficult to find them if you know the formula, but I've settled down here. I've got a young daughter in wizarding school up in the Unseelie Court. She's, well, she's a she's someone that I'm very proud of, and I want to support her by staying as close as I can. It's easier to teleport when you're within the same realm, after all.
Hmm.
Less
Good.
expensive.
Mm.
And you will
I'm
arrive
sure she's doing well.
at a house, and she will just go, Alright, now, here, I'll pick you some of the fruit. Just make sure that it's typically used to get the poisons out of whatever you're drinking. It's not best to have it raw. It tends to be a bit toxic on its own. It's strange, really, how it gets rid of toxins and other things, but remains toxic in and of itself. But
Okay.
what can you do?
Bit of a
Scary.
Gemini effect there. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, Gemini. I recognize that name. She was
I
a
don't get it.
yes, she was a lovely girl. Fought for the freedom of the members of the Sealy court a long time ago. It's a pity
Oh.
it's been so long since she's been confirmed to have been seen. Of course, there's hoaxes of her showing up every couple of years or so, but most of them cannot be proven.
How would you prove it?
Hmm? Oh.
How would you prove it? How would you believe that Gemini herself has?
Oh, dispelling magic within an area and having someone show up there, because that would dispel any shape changers, any illusions, anything like that.
I'm just gonna grab her hand and be like, "Well, I'm Gemini. It's nice to meet you.
Interesting.
The one and only." I mean, there is multiple of me on some island somewhere, but that's just in case I decide to get myself in danger accidentally.
I am so lost.
Well,
Don't worry, it's just the Feywild.
don't worry. Many people get lost here. As long as you know how to get out, you should be completely fine. Say, what was your name, young boy?
Tension?
Pleased to meet you, Senshin. I am Brenna. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Mm.
Thank you for helping us so much.
Not a problem. Now, let's see. So, you will likely be wanting to head to the surface. Alright. Let's see. The best way would likely be either to the north, where you would be going close to the great tree. Of course, that might be an issue depending on whether or not you've angered them. There is also back the way you came, which has closed up, so that will not be an option. And
Also, there was a couple meters worth of water between us and them, so we'd have to swim up through both zombies and also water.
I am sure the
Yeah.
Myconids will be rather upset that they got trapped out of the realm. Well, that's their own fault for continuing to annoy innocent passerbys on the surface. So, good riddance.
Yeah, they annoyed the crap out of both of us.
Mm.
I turned into a fish at one stage. It was pretty wild.
First time. Turning into a fish, I mean.
From what I can remember, I mean, I've turned into lots of things. This one time I was like I think it was a carrier pigeon. I was trying to get a message, but I got lost.
You'll just
Wow.
see
You
the
got
lady
attacked
turn
by a
into a flying
eagle?
fish and will just continue to talk to you. You're not quite sure how she's able to do that, but she will just continue flying along at about head height and continue the conversation as she is turned into some kind of iridescent clownfish. Yes, it is quite a fun ability to be able to have.
She can still talk like as a clownfish, a flying clownfish. My gosh, I wish I could do that. Because when I take a wild shape, well, I just blub blub like a fish. Like, I can't really.
It's something my daughter taught me from magic school up there. It's something that isn't really taught outside of this realm, but it's always interesting to learn.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Very interesting.
Anyway, so
Plus
as you can
magic.
see with this map here, this is where you came from. This is where we are. You would need to head roughly up here if you were looking to go to the surface via the Great Tree. There is also a boatyard there, but I would advise being careful. It's been abandoned for a long time. The ships aren't likely to be very, well, seaworthy, especially considering the kind of journey you'll need to make, which is nearly straight up. It's
Oh,
difficult and requires a great degree of skill and handling. Of course, if you were able
Yeah.
to find someone who was able to do that. Unless
Are
Oh,
you
that's
that
you
someone?
a
can.
possibility. Oh god, no.
Yes. Let me tell you, I'm glad that you were able to find your way down here instead of, well, in the Sealy courts. It's always difficult. There's too much of a possibility of running into trouble here, especially as a new visitor.
Yeah, Or a reoccurring visitor that keeps pissing the Sealy Queen off. I wonder if I can mend that relationship somehow, but I really don't think I can.
Sorry, you pissed on the queen?
You know, I kind of wish I did. She took my royalty status away from me. I was
She
a
would
queen
definitely
for a
deserve
few
it.
times.
She
Like,
would
for a few
definitely
minutes.
deserve it, the old cow.
Politics really isn't my strong suit, and this definitely feels like politics.
Yeah, politics suck. I'd probably be a good queen just because I'm, kind of nice, but I'd also be a pretty bad queen because, well, I wouldn't be able to manage a kingdom too well. I don't really know how to do that. So hopefully one day they get a better queen though. When she dies,
Well,
then,
you were
someone else
definitely
steps up.
recorded as one of the better queens of the Sealy realm. Especially considering,
Me?
well,
Holy shit.
do you not remember?
Yeah, not really.
No,
I remember bits and
she does.
pieces, but not really, no.
Oh. Well, most of the queens are known for throwing lavish parties and spending all of the kingdom's wealth on jewelry and grand items for themselves. They also tend to fall out of favor with the god of the humans. Whereas you managed to avoid mistreating the humans to such a degree that you drew the attention of the gods. You were able to keep the Feywilds out of the focus of many of the outer realms, and even managed to keep peace with the Unseelie realm. I'm told it was by a combination of foodstuffs that you were able to do it. At any rate, you were.
Did you drug him?
I was thinking that maybe, but this seems... Wow. Maybe I am an okay person.
You didn't spend all of the kingdom's money on just attempting to further yourself. You made a great many beautiful things, but you weren't doing it all just for yourself. You let other people see them and add to them, and, well, it was a grand era, but that was a long time ago now.
How long did that era last for?
On and off, probably about 200 years.
Oh, okay.
That's decently long.
What? Is that
Yeah.
long for humans? Oh, yes,
I
I
don't
suppose
think a
it would
human
be.
can live that long.
Beyond most humans' natural lifespan.
I'm
Well,
gonna turn to Senshin.
we
Now
elves-
do you believe that I'm not a 9-year-old?
We elves
I
can
mean-
live for approximately 700 to 1,000 years, depending on health.
Wow. That's impressive. May I ask what level of age you're up to?
I'm fairly young myself, only about 300.
Wow.
I was born in the
300.
last. I was born in the last 50 years of your reign.
Wow. Well, I'm honored, really. I'm glad that I have a goodish history in that sense. Like I said, I didn't think I'd make a good queen, and sure as hell not for 200 years. Oh my.
Well, it was on and
That's
off. There were a
reassuring.
few times where the Sealy Queen regained popularity, and then you managed to retake it with the popular vote. Then she managed to declare treason. Then you managed to retake the popular vote. You were in for most of the 200 years, though.
Wow.
That's slightly
wonder
more
why I
impressive than
stopped.
most governments.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going on and off, I wonder why I gave up, because, like, I don't know, it seems like that back then I made some good changes. I don't know why I would just give up
Oh.
on the people.
Oh, you didn't. You left a heir. It wasn't a child of yours, but it was someone that you trained. And, well, then you decided that you were going on a quest for something. Your origin, you said. You were talking
Oh.
about some kind of large winged lion that you were seeking out. And also some other creature. A winged horse, I believe. You said you were looking for your original time and place, where you came from, and while you were in search of that, that heir was to take care of the castle. And it worked for another 20 years or so. after that, the court ended up dissolving.
What happened to the heir? Did they die?
Yes, they were
Oh my
killed in
God.
an uprising.
Oh,
Jeez.
wonderful.
These
Well, at
happen
least it
fairly
wasn't a child
regularly.
I had.
Oh, no, just a young protege of yours. Someone that you
My
trained
clan
to
issues.
rule.
You don't know if I have any children, do you?
I'm not aware of any.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I'd say you're a
Crisis
couple centuries
avoided.
behind on. Yeah, I would say you're probably a couple centuries behind on child support if you did have any.
Yeah,
Child
I'd
support?
be paying in plants.
Is that a thing in the surface realm?
Yeah, humans kind of suck in a bed in that young, so we got laws in place to be like, you have to pay money, otherwise you're a bad person to your children.
Oh,
and
yes,
that's
abandoned young. That's actually where a lot of new Fae come from. Not that many of them would care to admit it.
really they. I mean, I guess Faye they would.
They
You
can't
know.
naturally reproduce.
Yeah,
The
that
way
makes
that a
sense.
lot of new fairies are born is, well, either as leaves on some particular trees nurtured by the Great Dryad's power, or, well, by humanoids that have been captured and transformed into them by, again, being enclosed within the Great Tree.
That's moderately disturbing.
It is. Unfortunately, there's very little we can do about it considering that the plants have ears. That's why there are so few down here in the Shadowfell. It's so that we can't be listened to.
Do you think any of the plants that I brought with me, did do they have ears?
Have they
Shouldn't eat your
been
fairy
watered?
pumpkin.
Have they been watered by the sap from the tree? The
No.
great tree here? Then no.
They could be watered by
Oh.
water.
That's good. That's
They should
real
be
good.
fine, provided that they're not watered with the sap of this realm.
That's real good then. Gemini's just gonna pull out a joint. Thank God this is safe.
It is. But once you are above, once you're near a bunch of plants, near the water, nature itself can hear you and everything that is said. So, I would advise you to be
Wow.
careful. This realm is not exactly for the faint of heart.
It sounds scary, like really scary. I mean, you imagine like fairies and the fae is beautiful and mystical and everything.
That's
Sunshine
just
and rainbows.
that's used as
also
a
cruel.
myth to lure in human children.
That's kind of dark, but I understand.
Yeah, fair cruel.
I should be thanking you for getting rid of those little maggots. while looking like one herself.
Okay. You need to get over that hatred of children.
Just they are annoying. They don't have any brains.
As they are young and not developed.
And that's my fault?
It's not theirs. None of us have power over time.
I mean,
Or rather, our own personal time. Don't bring up that. That causes me enough headaches as it is.
probably causes a lot of headaches for everyone. I mean,
Mm.
jumping through time, messing up a timeline in your own head is, yeah, mustn't be fun.
Mm.
I'll try and avoid time jumping if we can, but like,
Please do.
sometimes we gotta. Like, I didn't really think how it'd affect like other humans' minds.
Yeah. Either way,
I
you
can't
should
really
probably-
do much aside from, well, serve you a bit of food here. I can guarantee that it's been fried enough that there won't be any sap remaining in it. And
Oh, I was actually going to ask if you have any meat.
I do, yes. I also
Okay,
have
good.
some plants here. I've just got them fried up here, and let's see. Yep. I should have been able to get all of the sap out of them, so it shouldn't have any effect on you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I'll take the plants.
Yep.
He'll take the meat.
She will just
Mm.
give you a bit of each. She will take just the plants and we'll just go at it. But it looks like she's also eating a bit of bacon. You'll notice a tree that actually, Senshin, roll a history check.
Rolling a history check. It's 100% flat on Senshin. There's no way he has
Okay.
history.
Yep.
Wait, actually, no, I was right. He doesn't have history.
Okay. It looks vaguely familiar. It looks like bacon.
A bacon tree?
Got
That's
it
a
in
thing.
one.
That's actually a thing.
Yes, of course. I've got one out the back.
Oh my gosh. And it just grows strips of bacon?
Yeah.
It doesn't harm any animals. There are
Oh
some
my gosh.
strange plants like that around the world. It's said that Lord Pinko themselves makes them.
Yeah,
What
nice
else would you
guy.
expect from the god of cooking, after all?
God of cooking?
Yes.
I believe that's one of their premier titles.
God of pain in my ass. I mean, he did
That's that
cook me
too.
into spaghetti, so it does make a bit of sense.
Look, you've got to understand this, Gemini. Never say anything hyperbolic to a god of
I've
porn
learned that, man.
chaos.
That is a lesson that was learnt right after I
Yeah.
stopped being sentient spaghetti. I'm just gonna turn to her. It's a long story.
Well,
And keep eating.
there is one small solace of the Feywilds. The gods don't really interfere here as much.
Why is that?
It's part of some deal. The Dryad was able to protect this realm from the gods and their influence.
But you said in my reign that I did end up talking to the gods, or reaching
Rather, you
them.
didn't.
You
Well,
didn't grant
it's
you didn't gain their attention, which was a good thing as far as this realm goes.
yeah.
The gods seem really, I guess,
They
they can be
interfere.
good, they can be bad, but
They interfere.
seems
Lord Narvok is usually interfering for the better. The rest of them, it's a question.
hmm.
Lord Narvok typically saves those that are trapped here, especially humans who have been enslaved by or taken to be turned into Fae without wanting that.
Yeah, he's the protector of humans for a reason.
The rest of the gods that come and interfere here are, well, they're not as well liked.
Shit stars.
They tend to put their nose in a lot of tradition without fully respecting it and aim to destroy what we hold dear.
Terrible. That's
But
so terrible.
they're stopped
your
from doing
traditions are
that
your own.
because of the agreement with the Great Dryad, so there are ups and downs to all of the establishments here in the Feywilds, but the most important thing is that we remain independent.
But I wonder what that deal involved. Like, the Dryad must have offered something really, really worth it to the gods to just
Presumably.
say. Like, I wonder what that sacrifice was, is the question. I
Well,
hope it doesn't
none of us have
bite you
suffered.
guys in the butt.
None of us have suffered from whatever it was.
Guess it's alright for now.
They are the Feywilds. Quite literally.
Okay, well, should we take some of the seeds for the bacon plant? I mean, that might be useful for you, Senshin. I'm still not gonna eat it, but like,
Yeah,
do you maybe
I
want?
mean,
Like,
considering there might be some times we're out of place from, well, meat, it probably would be a good idea for me to grab something that we could carry on the way.
No, I don't have to like watch you guys kill animals for food, because well, I mean, you probably still will, but like less often because of the meat plant, right?
Yeah, look, I need to have something meat at least once a day, okay?
Okay. Can we take some of these seeds too, please?
Yes, the seeds for this are a bit bigger, and she'll just pull out what looks to be an acorn with some interesting patterns on it.
This is
This is for
What's that
the bacon
statement?
tree.
What was that statement I heard a while back? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Of course.
Is this corruption or is this lunacy?
Is what?
the concept of. Never mind. Shouldn't speak ill in any way of primordial chaos himself, or themselves rather.
That would be wise. After all, the Great Dryad isn't the only one with ears everywhere.
Oh shit. Has someone
He,
been listening
well,
to us right now?
Pinko, they seem to listen everywhere.
There are multiple gods that are omniscient, after all.
But Lord Pinko is one who uses their omniscience more than any other.
I don't want to fuck with him anymore. He
Said that at any point there's at least 10 or more roaming every realm at once.
I still have my freedom though, right? Even
Oh,
though
yes.
they can
Everyone
hear
has
me.
free will. Everyone has free will. They're just constantly being watched. What? It sounds as if you're not used to living in a realm with the gods. Are you not?
We're used to it.
Blissful ignorance. I guess I kind of knew the gods could see and hear what I do. I just didn't think I was interesting enough for them to care, and
They might not be actively paying attention to you, but they can.
I really hope I didn't piss some of them off.
That's why our goal here in the Feywilds is to avoid drawing their attention, so that
Pretty
we
sure
can
we're
get
both in
on
the same
with
boat
our
there.
lives.
Well, you've done a good job so far, so mad props to you guys.
Well,
Anyway,
I
we
haven't
should
been the one
find
who's
a
been
way-
doing
live
it.
here.
We should find a way out of here before, you know.
We have to buckle down here and live here. I mean, it seems like a nice-ish place with some catches, but it seems alright down
I'll be
here.
real, no offense, but I'd rather not spend the rest of my life in the Feywilds.
I don't really want to spend the rest of my life in the Feywilds just because, well, I'm on a mission with some people.
Alright,
I have friends.
good.
So, is there a way out of here that we can
Well,
just kind of slip out without bothering people that could hurt us?
well, there is the old mine. It might have a shaft that heads upwards. I don't know exactly where it leads up. It could be in the Unseelie realm, could be in the Seelie realm. But that could lead you up to the surface. There's also the boat, which you would need to go via a difficult way up. Otherwise,
And neither of us can pilot a boat, and we will die. So, looks
Gotta
like the upper
forget,
realm's the best choice.
I'm not the best captain of a ship, so
oh, if you drown in this water, it won't kill you. But
That's
You
what
might
I'm
wish
afraid
it
of.
did.
part of it. Like, part of the Fae if we drown in it, because we'll swallow the water, so...
small amounts of it will just make you unable to lie, but larger amounts of it, well, let's just say that starts to change you. This realm tends to warp people. Makes
Wait, if
everyone
I
like
was
it.
here for 200 years,
What do you
was
mean,
I
warps?
drinking the water?
Absolutely.
Oh my...
What do you mean it warps
I'm
people?
hooked.
It changes their bodies, sometimes their minds. One of the things it can do is grant greater affinity with plants and animals, a greater understanding of how a lot of them work, a greater ability to be able to transform into them and understand the way that they operate, even talk or casting spells while being in their form. It grants the inability to lie, or rather, deliberately state anything that someone believes to be untrue. It has compounding effects. After a while, it gives you the ability to control plants, to fly. But, well, the more connected you are to this realm, the more beholden you are to its rules. Meaning that outsiders typically get swallowed up in it. This isn't the only realm like it, it's just the most notorious.
But I
We should
wasn't
leave here as soon as possible.
So, it's just a question of how did I survive this for so long? And not, I mean...
You have a new body. That much is obvious.
What? Did
Your
I
old
not look
body.
like this?
What?
Your old body, it had wings and it was much older.
So
I
you
had
chose the
wings?
child form?
Okay, this is
You were
not
considered an
important.
archfey back in the day.
Uh,
That's big.
yeah,
But your lost body died, and so you must have switched out for a version of your younger self.
did my older self look okay? Like, it's kind of not important, but
Okay, in what
I
way?
looking good? Like, did I look attractive or pretty, or like I wasn't
Of
an
course.
ugly older person?
Of course not. When I say older, I mean in your early 20s. You did not look like
Oh,
a
thank God.
child.
Oh, thank God, because like
Not old, just older.
I'm just gonna whisper to her. I stay like this because I know that I look cute. Older me, I don't know how ugly I'd be, so I'd rather stay like this.
She will create an illusion of what looks like a heavily glamorized version of you in probably about 10, 20 years or so. 10, 15 probably. And you will see that it looks like all sorts of glamour have been applied to you. You have a large set of wings, which are just about an arm span apart, and they look to be constantly changing in color and hue, and you're hovering a couple of centimeters off the ground. It looks like you have a large crown made of various plants that is just swirling around your long hair, and you look to be very regal.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool.
I don't look too bad. Maybe I shouldn't stay like this.
Yeah, no, I'd actually probably find it a lot easier to treat like an adult if you look like that.
Then I wouldn't be
What?
cute anymore. I'd be all adult-like and regal and responsible. I mean, I probably liked being a queen and helping people, but I probably didn't like all the responsibility that came with it and the rules. Ugh. I want to be free to break some rules if I need to, uh.
The rules
But I
here
do look
are
pretty
very
cool.
limited. What belongs to the Feywilds stays in the Feywilds. That's why you have to make sure that you are not spotted.
That's
That
fucking
is
anonymous.
the one rule.
Don't be spotted.
Don't be spotted by the authorities. Rebels are fine. Ordinary citizens, fine. Castle guards or, God forbid, the queen or king might be a larger
Fine.
problem.
Rad. Okay.
Gee.
Um.
Question. My dead
Yeah, I got one
body.
too.
Actually, you go first, Engstrom.
Right. This is just actually screw it. I'll make it simple. I have a problem with a possession. That possession has consumed a hag or old fae. Does that technically make me part of the Feywilds?
No, it looks like. Let me see. No, it looks like any essence from that being has been fully absorbed. You should have no troubles here.
That's
You would
useful.
be seen very much as an outsider, which, for better or worse, means that they won't be targeting you for the same reasons. They'd be targeting Gemini because, well, that is the one rule that the Great Dryad set. And that's the only restriction placed on the Queen and King.
Wait, me specifically? Just no Gemini allowed?
No. The one restriction placed is that anyone who is seen to belong to the Feywilds, such as yourself, must not be allowed to leave. And that is the only law which the king and queen are forced to uphold. Any other laws are their choice to do with as they please.
Wait, that might be why the current Sealy Queen, that she said that she tried to do me in for treason, and I was trying to find like my origin and my story, and like following like a winged horse and like a winged lion. I wanted to
No
get out of
horse?
here, and she was probably like, "No, that is against the rules," and then killed me. And
You-
then
oh.
I was like, I can't look like that if I'm gonna get out of here, and so
You didn't
I
die here. No, you
Wait,
left.
what?
No one ever knew what became of you. We
Did I
assume you
leave
died.
in that form?
You left in that form. You left
my
in the older form of yourself, and you were never seen again until now. That's why we assume that you died, because you appear as a younger version of yourself who doesn't remember your reign. You must have died at some point, but we don't know whether you found what you were looking for, but you were not killed here.
Oh my.
You died elsewhere.
How did I get out of here without an uprising or something? Like it's not allowed to leave, so I just
Portals, probably?
disappeared.
Just
Like,
because
it
it's not
just-
allowed doesn't mean that it's not possible. Any sufficiently powerful mage is able to teleport between realms.
I'm not technically allowed to eat more than 4 kilos of meat before dinner, and you don't see me stopping.
Fair enough. I'll keep that a secret.
Who? My parents are either dead or My parents and family are either dead or missing.
I mean, I don't know my parents. Gang. Like, we can count them as missing. Maybe the winged lion and the winged horse are my parents.
Bloodily
Why was
nice.
I looking for them? I wonder.
Either way, we
We
should
get
probably
outta here.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the possibility of what this realm might have effects on you know who.
Take care.
Oh, yes.
Take care. There's little I can do from here aside from, well, grant you this map that shows you a couple of possible ways to the surface. I don't have a map of the surface, so once you're up there, you'll need to find your own way.
By the way, thank you very much, Brina.
Yes.
Glad that I
Yes,
could
thank you
assist
very much.
any new travelers. I hate seeing what's done to so many of the people that arrive here by mistake. May
Well,
Narvok's
at
blessing
least
be
there's some
upon you.
good here.
Let's hope he
you
listens.
too. And if you could not tell anyone that you
My lips are
saw
sealed.
me, thank you very much.
Yep. Gemini, let's get moving. Looks like I'm playing your bodyguard today.
Okay, let's go. While I process this information, oh my lord.
Alright, so
I had wings!
you are here. There is a boat very nearby. You can attempt to find a boat up this way, and there's that. There is also a mine, which is likely to have a mine shaft leading up. You know for a fact that here is the water that is coming from the lake of the Unseelie Court. You don't know whether over here is also the water of the Unseelie Court or whether it's the water of the Seelie Court. So you know for a fact that if you go here, it will land you in the Unseelie Court. You don't know about the other two.
Oh, and the mine shaft, that's like a 50-50 almost, because it's right in the middle, so...
You could end up right between the two.
You know this one better than I do, Gemini, so you take the lead.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Gemini, history check.
It's been well over 10 minutes now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What's my history? It's at novice, it's sad.
Still not too bad. Yeah, it's plus
17.
4.
Okay.
No, it's
18.
plus
Alright,
3.
18. Nice. Alright, in that case, let me show you the map of the Feywilds. Just for your reference, since you would remember it. You would mostly remember the Seelie side of it, but you would still recognize it.
Okay,
Just
cool.
getting it up and hoping that it works. Okay, and boom. And boom. Okay.
Man, I had wings! Damn it! Why did I have to die? Damn it!
Okay, so this is the Feywilds. This is the Moonlit Lake. You recognize that the water that is currently near you is water from this very lake. This is the Great Tree of the Feywilds. It is roughly between the two realms. So it looks like to the north is up here, to the south is here. So you are probably underneath the Unseelie Court right now. Entirely underneath the Unseelie Court. So, just heading back to this. This is almost directly underneath the Moonlit Lake. This is underneath the Great Tree. So this is likely also going to lead you somewhere in the Unseelie realm. You're just not sure exactly where. If it is going in a straight line. It might not be. You don't exactly know which way the mine shaft is going relative to the realms. So that's guaranteed center of the Feywilds. That's guaranteed Unseelie. That's a gamble.
It's also a gamble of whether we can, like, steer this ship. If we
Can't.
are, yeah, I mean, we might have
Neither
to
one of-
take a gamble.
It's dark,
I don't-
but
look.
you can't guarantee that there aren't other people here. This lady looks like she was a bit of a hermit, but it is entirely possible that there are other people in the Shadowfell.
You should.
Maybe we could ask someone to steer for us and, you know.
Yeah. It wouldn't be bad to look for other people over here.
Yeah. And they seem friendly enough, I guess, so.
You've met one.
Yeah, they seem friendly enough.
100% friendly. I mean, the one we've met so far was friendly, so I guess technically they're 100% friendly.
Yeah, if we're not counting the people I've met in the Sealy Court.
Technically, that is the Feywilds, not the Shadowfell, so technically you haven't met anyone from the Shadowfell before this lady, so still 100% friendly.
Still 100% friendly, then that's perfect.
Yep.
We're good. I like those odds.
Yeah. By the way, I still want to get out of here quickly.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that idea from? Are you kidding me?
Well, you do the talking a bit better. I mean, I'm a bit mean sometimes, accidentally. Like the interrogation with the vampire. You kind of. I think you took control there.
Blacked out for most of it, but I remember bits of it.
I forgot about that part. But my interrogation skills and just talking isn't too great.
Gemini,
I make enemies quickly.
Gemini, I'm scary. That's about all I got going for me. I'm not exactly the most diplomatic type.
And I appear as a child. You don't even take me seriously. So, I mean, I guess with the combination of us combined,
We're both fuck-ups.
I'm scared, man. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
We're more alike than I thought. Wow. Character development.
What? Just...
Gemini, perception check
the
with
fourth
advantage.
wall.
Senshin, perception check normal.
Wait, perception
Understood.
check with advantage.
Roll
Perception
2d20,
check.
take the higher one.
Hey, you don't need to roll anymore.
Okay, alright.
My perception
Gemini, despite being more familiar with the Feywilds and by extent the Shadowfell and knowing roughly what dangers there are, Senshin manages to spot it first. It looks like there are some
Warrior's
vines
instincts.
creeping out from around here. And
what creeping out?
Vines.
Oh.
And they will
Vines.
look similar to the vines that were apparently puppeteering the zombies earlier. And you'll just hear a faint whispering from them going, "Come back. Come back from the water.
Rather not, thanks.
Come back, little ones."
I don't think you're quite little, Senshin, but, you know, maybe there's no eyes on these plants. I'm gonna try my plants love me spell, which is control nature, just to kind of, like, halt the vines from getting towards us.
Alright.
I'm gonna check. Yeah, as
The
I said, that,
vines
I want
will-
to check how tall and heavy I am, just for
Alright, yeah. The plants will
let's
stay
see.
still. And
5'8", 180 pounds, which is about 80 kilos.
Alright, the plants will not move any closer to you. The vines will wrap around themselves in what appears to be some elaborate form of knitting that later on turns into something that looks like a person with no eyes and rather long tendrils of vines that appear as arms and hair. And you will just hear it saying, Where are my puppets? to have disappeared.
Really not a fan of this right now.
Maybe you should consider a different profession. Puppeteering. I don't think that's your area, man. Have you tried, like, gardening? I think you'd be good at that.
I am a
Or
plant.
calligraphy?
What are you talking about? What is calligraphy?
Fancy writing.
You could do that. I think you'd be good at that. You don't
As
need
I'm saying
anyone
this,
else.
as I'm saying this, I'm starting to like sort of back up with Gemini, just distracting you with inane conversation.
Yeah, Gemini is like not really. The plants have like halted and like getting closer to her, so she's like, "Oh yeah,
the
it must
plant
be
isn't
fine."
getting any closer to her. The plant is staying still. The plant was
Yeah.
just coalescing into a roughly humanoid form, but it was staying in the same position, and it's not moving its arms or anything closer to you.
Yeah, so Gemini's like, this is a bit dangerous, but it's generally fine to just have a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
You are the one from the surface realm, right?
I'm sure.
There's two of us here.
You were
Yes.
both from the surface realm.
I don't
Yes,
know if I am or
we
not.
are from the surface. Just shut up and go with it.
I
The
don't know if that's
surface.
a good or bad idea.
Not the Feywilds.
Shut up and go.
The surface. The one that my puppets met with. I see. So you are still here. Interesting.
Your puppets met with? Who were they meeting with?
You.
Us.
You were the
Me?
ones my puppets met with.
Why would we undermeet?
Yeah, why?
You met with them because they brought you here. My puppets.
My question still stands as to why.
The zombies! That's
Yes.
probably it.
My why question still stands.
Well, they like bringing
Why?
people here.
Why? Well, under orders from the Great Dryad, of course, for you. And you'll just see a vine-like tendril pointing at Gemini. And you were a bonus. And we'll just point at Senshin. A threat that must be contained to stop them.
Just
Them.
stop them?
Names have power, you know. This is the Feywilds, after all. I don't speak the names of such powerful beings.
Not even
Do
the
you know sign
titles?
language?
Not even the titles?
Do you think maybe
Titles
you could...
also have power. You have much to learn about this realm.
Would you...
Cool. Hey, if
think
there's a power,
of
maybe I
the
should
name?
use that name.
Maybe you should, like, if you can think
Gemini,
of
that's
the
not how
name,
this will work.
I can mind read.
I don't think this guy's on our side somehow, Gemini.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Tell me. Well, let's see if we're on the same side. Are you for the Feywilds and against the corrupt rulers of these worlds?
Yes. Because, well, everyone deserves a chance at being happy, and corruption is bad.
I
And-
see.
Let's find
Then
out
you
which
and I are on the
worlds.
same side.
Can we check quickly which worlds they mean?
I guess.
All
In
of
the
them.
Feywild?
All
Yeah,
of
there
them.
it is.
Yeah.
Where else?
No.
Yeah.
All, as in Gemini, they're asking you to declare war on existence.
Not existence. Just, well, the ones who
Everywhere
serve its
else.
destruction.
I don't think that's too bad. I
Hey.
just think your targets aren't the targets you're wanting. Because at the moment, it seems like innocents are being dragged down here.
I will talk with you, and we'll point at Gemini, because I know you are trusted.
So
Oh.
confused still.
You
Welcomed.
can trust this dude as well.
I'll trust you first. And
Okay.
then the plant you will feel its thoughts begin to, you can hear them. You didn't start the mind link. It's almost as if it is attempting to start the mind link with you. Do you wish to mind link with this plant?
Dangerous game I'm playing.
You can always start the mind link under your terms.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I
I'm gonna
see.
mind link with the plant by myself.
I see. Smart. And the plant will just say, there are those looking to destroy this world. He is working with them. Of course, you can't trust anything I say, but beware that you are not used as a pawn.
So confused.
Noted.
What's going on?
Learn all
still...
you can about the situation and do not get used.
Okay,
I
just
gave you
ignore
a
me.
brief respite here to have a chance to figure out your position on these matters, but ultimately it is up to you. And the plant will say out loud, this is up to you. To both of you. You're both the gambits that higher forces have been toying with. I look forward to seeing what will happen. But I am merely an agent of another force.
Will you tell me what that force is, or is that...
You know that force already, my dear.
Oh god.
Besides,
Is it
saying its
her?
name would spoil the surprise.
So I see you're playing a bit of a two-sided game here of good and bad. I like it. It's not bad. Thanks for the surprise factor, at least. You're not shoving us into danger, unnecessary danger, right?
Can we go now?
By all means. You can do that well enough on your own.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Alright.
And you will just see the vines will catch a light and disappear as what appears to be some Eladrin elf will just appear in winter form. Their skin is blue and their hair appears to be entirely white, and they're just holding up a torch that just burns the plant. Damn it. I can't eat this. Oh well.
What in the...
Oh. Are you also hunting?
No, we're trying to,
No, we're not hunting, we're lost.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. I'm just gonna quickly mind link with Senshin. So I can speak to him.
Fair enough.
I'm okaying it.
Yep. Alright. You are mind linked.
We might want to be careful revealing that we are lost, because we can't really trust the Fae too easily. They might want to capitalize on that and try and keep us here.
Yeah, this place does give me a bad feeling, so...
Yeah,
Well.
you just be careful with what you say and how you say it, so...
Well, how about... Well, where are you wanting to go?
Outside. We want to explore a little and then maybe explore outside the Fae, in the human world. I want to see how bad they can actually be. I've heard that they're quite brutal and mean to their own. So we thought it'd be good if we could go up there and see for ourselves.
Haven't seen many human natives of this land, but I suppose there's a first for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really seen anyone burn up a tendril plant-looking thing. I kind of just stick to myself, but I made a friend, so we decided to head out. But you're right, there's a first for everything.
You've never seen a torch? And he'll just hold up what looks to be a fairly normal, non-magical looking torch. It's...
No, we've seen a torch. We're more so just discussing in generalities.
Yeah, we haven't really seen it used in a way to burn up a tendril-looking plant. I mean, I've seen it to guide the way in the dark, and just, torches are cool. I like fire.
That's a concerning statement, Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire is mighty appealing. Well, if you like that,
dances.
there's a rather impressive fireworks show up north a bit. You see that set of stairs? Head up towards the lake and then to the left, and there's a rather impressive bonfire at the moment.
For what occasion?
Birthday of the chief of a small village, I believe. It doesn't really matter what the occasion is, though. It just matters that we're hungry and we want to feast. So we feast. So schmucks like me have to hunt.
I wish you all the luck with your hunting. You seem to be pretty good at it. You took out that tendril plant thing pretty quickly, so
It's
you know.
overdone. It won't exactly
Yeah.
taste good, but what can you do?
Do I have any food to give him? Because I want to be nice.
You always have pancakes.
Oh yeah! Do you want a pancake, man?
Oh, of course, that would be lovely.
Oh, you're welcome. They're gonna be like my not Pinko's special pancake recipe and not Pinko's super special pancake recipe. They're just gonna be like my usual normal pancakes. I really don't want to poison him.
Very
It's the
pumpkins.
Feywilds. I don't think they can get poisoned.
Very pumpkin pancakes. These are lovely. Typically a surface delicacy. You're not from
Well, you're
around here,
welcome.
are you?
Well, we wander a bit here and there. New
So-
places are a common thing.
You looking to get back to the surface or somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that's our plan. Back to the surface, past the Feywilds, I would think. But up to the surface is a good start. I'd like to have a look around there again. Haven't been there in a while.
I see. All right. Well, I am known to ferry travelers up there every once in a while. Tell you what, another set of those pancakes and I can ferry you off back to the surface of the Feywilds.
That would be wonderful. How many pancakes do you want, man?
Let's say about 10, if that would be all right. That'll
I'm gonna
more
give
than
him
pay
12.
for your passage.
I'm gonna
Thank
give
you.
him 12. I'm gonna look at Senshin as a like, you good with this? This is the way we're going with. Are you okay with that way?
I need those things.
Considering you're like, yep, Gemini, I'm following you. I'm a bit scared, but your input is still needed.
All right. Well, my boat's up this way. Now that you've given me these lovely pancakes, I'm sure that it shall be a enjoyable journey. I will just need to set up the boat and sit down for a little to eat them, and then I should be good to take you all up.
Fantastic.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Do you need any help setting up?
Nah, I know how to set up my own boat. I think I'd be
Cool.
slowed down with the size of it.
Alrighty. Well, I wish you good luck with that. Not
Alright.
that you need it. I'll see you soon then.
So you will see that there is a fairly small boat there, and the man is just setting stuff up. You'll actually, Senshin, you would be most likely to notice. All right, yep, just thinking. All right, Gemini, perception check. Senshin, perception or insight check.
It's normal or
Normal.
okay? Let's see. Do I have which one do I have? That's my abilities. I have an insight and perception, both at the same level.
All right,
Well, insight just for fun.
fair.
Perception, I got a +3 on that one.
Okay. All right, so that's a 17 on your perception. You will notice what looks to be a decently large fire pit in the background of a manor. It looks like there's a whole bunch of Eladrin elves gathering there and enjoying the taste of what looks like a bunch of plants, a bunch of viney ones that were taken down in a similar way. They look to be enjoying themselves and partying. It looks like they're around in a circle with various, it looks like plants that were grown specifically for the purpose of being furniture. And they're
Wow.
dancing in a specific type of circle. The music is interesting. You're not quite sure what you think of it, but it compels you to listen. And it seems like it would be a lot of fun. It certainly seems like the people there are enjoying themselves. Senshin.
I'm gonna.
Yeah?
Okay, wait. No, you do your thing first.
Yeah, Senshin, what did you get on your insight check?
Wait. Oh, it's that number, not that number. It's this one. It's a 16.
Okay. The guy is definitely willing to take you to the surface. It looks like he's suspecting that you're trying to get out of the Feywilds, and he looks rather suspicious of you. It looks like he is, well, he can't lie, you'd assume, but he is willing to take you to the surface for the pancakes, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any additional terms to that. It doesn't look like he's going to go back on his deal, but it doesn't exactly look like he's on your side.
I'm a little
Wary.
concerned that he's going to like
So
take us to the service and then get some guards on our ass straight away.
I can. I'll be fine.
But I want to mind
be
link
wary.
Ascension
Alright.
real quick again.
All right?
Do not join the fairy circle. That's what I'm calling it, the Fae dance, the circle. I'm concerned that it
Some
will
sort of
draw
mind thing?
humans in with the music, the dance. It looks like a lot of fun, but don't join in. Don't. I'm
Yeah.
a bit worried that it might enchant you or charm you in some way. So
Alright.
just
So you're both
don't
in...
listen.
So, Senshin, you're currently in the Mind Link. How long do you wish to stay in the Mind Link?
I'll just tell her like a little bit more.
Perpetually,
Save it.
or...
Yeah, no, do this. Only do this when necessary, and as long as I know it's you, I'll let you in straight away. I'm concerned there might be a way for them to read through us.
I'll make eye contact with you and like, I guess. How could I gesture this as me? I guess I could. Some type of like sign would be good. Also, where's little buddy this whole time?
On the ship.
Yeah,
Little Buddy didn't come down with you.
He's just on the ship?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I was wondering where he was. Like,
yeah.
it's like something's missing here. What's my little buddy boy? I guess I could. I guess I'll just look at you and like raise my eyebrows like 2 times or something. Like I'll try and like maybe give you a nod that it's gonna be me.
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, just be careful. It's my warning here. Don't want to unnecessarily be trapped down here.
Yep.
Especially with him within you. This is still mind linked. They can't hear me, right? Yep.
Yeah, it's still mind linked, and you can't detect anyone attempting to watch your mind link, so you should be fine.
Worst comes to worst, he'll still be so. Worst comes to worst, using his name alone will be enough to make him piss off.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
Ooh. But
I'm
yeah,
a bit-
the worst comes to worst.
I'm a bit worried that the man, well, the elf taking us
He doesn't seem-
upstairs is a bit.
No, I wouldn't say we should trust him entirely, but at the very
It's our
least,
way
he seemed
up.
to be lying.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just need to be on guard, and as soon as we're up there, we should say goodbye to him and, thank him, and I'll give him an extra few pancakes when we're up there, just, as a, I guess, a good thing, but something to, I guess, keep him happy while we say goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad using him, but kind of feel like he's using us, I don't know.
We can't.
Yep.
Yeah. We can't be too careful, especially in this world.
Yeah. Yeah, probably look like a big tasty meal for the Fae. Strong man, part of their world. How's the boat preparation going?
It looks like he's deliberately taking his time. Senshin, roll a wisdom save.
Oh.
Hey yo!
You could hear the music, but you managed to ignore it for a while.
I don't
Gemini,
like this.
you don't have to make this.
But if it's
Wait.
the music, I mean, if it's the music, I'm gonna.
I don't like this
Listen.
at all. I really don't like this.
I need to.
Maybe we should
Actually,
roll a
no,
blind shot.
Gemini. No, Gemini. Do you have any seeds that might fit in my ears? Once you have a couple of. If I can use them as earplugs, we'll be able to avoid that music.
Yeah, I think I could have something that could sit in your ears. I'm just a bit worried about it getting lost in there.
Look, right now, just make it so you have a couple copies of. We can't be too careful here.
Try and put like water in your ears. That might help.
Are you
Or
sure
this-
that's a good idea to waste your
It's a bad
precious
idea.
supply of water or risk getting
Yeah.
any water from
Oh shit!
here
I forgot
in
about
his
that.
ears?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
I just need something to block up my ears. Anything.
All right. Well, I think. Yeah, I think I could put maybe a red cap mushroom.
Mm.
That might be able to, like, cover it. And the seeds of the mushroom. The stem is poisonous, but not the cap, it seems.
Actually,
It's poisonous if eaten. It won't cause any problems if stuck in the ear. You assume.
and I'm resistant. And I'm actually resistant to poisons anyway.
All right, so you
Okay,
managed
let's
to
stick some
find a couple
mushrooms
of
in your ear.
stems of the red cap mushrooms and stick them in Senshin's ears. Senshin will be unable to hear anything, but also hopefully unaffected by the dance, provided that he's not looking at it.
Yeah, so I'll just sort of signal her to turn on a mind link between us so I can still hear her.
I'll do the sign of looking at him and raising my eyebrows twice.
Yeah.
And then mind link.
Okay, Senshin. You feel a presence attempting to enter your mind. What do you do?
I'll signal Gemini just pause for a second. And like sort of basically cut off on the mind link and just like pause it for a second. Just to see if the signal keeps coming through.
Yeah, I
It
think
does.
if you don't accept it straight away, like my mind link, I'll kind of know that you're sus on something and I'll look away and like break the link.
Alright,
And that does it keep coming through?
yes.
I will refuse it.
Okay. Alright.
That's not good. That's not good. This is
You
very
feel
sus. I
something
don't
is
like this.
continuing to attempt to press its way in.
I'm gonna start bringing the other guy up a little bit so his thoughts start popping in my head too.
I'm gonna mind link with you. Do the sign.
Alright, you
Eye
will
contact,
feel
eyebrows
the
up.
presence of whatever it is that was attempting to read your mind will back away a bit. You feel like it's gone now, and that there's nothing attempting to currently read your thoughts or get into your mind.
I'll signal Gemini that it's okay again and link with her. They're clearly targeting me.
Yeah, they know that I'm familiar here, so, and you're not. I don't know if the guy taking us upstairs is like, it's just, it's in his nature to want to trap people, but either way, we can't really trust him, and I really want to get you out of here.
Yeah, no.
And the guy will
just try the mine shaft.
It looks like he's finished eating the pancakes, and he looks like he's got a bottle of rum or something that he's just downed about half of, and it just spills over the ground, and he'll just go, ugh. Alright, I'm ready to take you guys up. You ready?
Yeah, I'll nod and just I'll just nod. Yeah.
Alright, get on the boat then.
So into my head, I'm gonna be quiet for the. I won't talk about that for the next while, just in case that's worked out. Until we're out of range of the music. Once we're out of range of the music, tell me, and then I'll take the things out of my ears so I can use my ears again.
Still mind link, I'm gonna say, like, I can't help but think we're walking into a trap here, but I feel like it's too late to back out now, because if we do, he's gonna get mad.
It's a trap. I'm pretty sure you're right. This might be a trap, but either way, we can't be too careful at this point.
And if it's a boat on this side of this little
We've got to just hope.
It could be going up near this middle near the Dryad.
We've got to hope for the best. We just got to go for it and make our own way out of this.
Unless we can figure out an escape and get to the mine shaft, but I don't know.
No.
No, man.
We'll take the boat. Just trust me. Well,
Alrighty.
at least I'll trust your intuitions. This is a trap, but I
Be
feel
on
this is
guard.
our best way up.
Be on guard. Have like your weapons ready, and like don't be sus, but like
The guy
be
will
ready.
continue piloting the boat, and do any of you wish to monitor any of the magic around the area?
I can't. Or rather, my ability is weak as hell. I'm not at all tuned to magic. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Gemini?
I am going to do my creature radar, my detect powerful magical creature,
Okay.
because I think the magic radar that's just gonna be everywhere. We're in the Feywild, so underground.
I would specify which types of magic you can detect and which ones are the strongest. The result wouldn't be completely useless, but yeah, I'd just let you know that there's a lot of background stuff. So with this one, you will feel an overwhelming presence of just powerful Fey-type magical creature all around you. It's coming from the water. It's coming from the ground. It's coming from the circle. It looks like you can feel it everywhere. It's almost as if the entire place itself is a powerful archfey, but many degrees beyond that. You can't sense any other powerful magical beings nearby, but you just feel completely overwhelmed by the oversaturation of this fey presence. Suppose you shouldn't be surprised, considering where you are. You can't sense anything else. You feel like your senses with regards to that have been dulled.
Dulled.
Because they're overwhelmed by so much background noise, effectively, that you can't distinguish any other signatures, because this one is just so strong and overwhelming.
Somehow I feel like he's taken us to the Great Dryad itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the
The Great
closer
Dryad
we
wouldn't.
get,
The Great Dryad couldn't do anything to us specifically. I hope.
we hope. I mean,
Well, the thing is,
Who
I'm
knows
directly
who
under
else?
the watch of. I'm directly under the watch of Pinko themselves. Right now, for at least what he's told me. So, I don't think I could do anything to us specifically, or at least me.
I do have my backups on the island, but like I really
And
need
I've got the
memories.
and I've got the big guy if necessary.
Hey,
I'd avoid that if you can. I mean, that's
I
less
said
than
ne-
like our big guy, which is.
I specified necessary. It's an absolute last resort. By the way, is the music gone now?
yes, the music is very much gone.
Sweet, I'll pop out the I'll pop out the mushrooms so I can actually talk
Yeah.
correctly again and sort of indicate mind link off.
Yeah,
Immediately,
Gemini,
I'll say, "Do not eat it." It is a
Yeah,
raw
but-
mushroom. I don't know if you would have or not, but just do not eat it.
They were in my ears. I'd rather not.
Good. Oh,
the
yeah.
guy who's running the boat, will just go, say, I don't think you gave me your reasons for being down here. I know that I'm down here because I live here and, well, help people get back up to the surface. People really seem to get lost here. How about you guys? Haven't met any travelers such as yourselves down here for a long while.
We
We got-
try and make the
we got
best
split
out
up
of a
from our-
bad situation.
Yeah, we got split up from our friends and allies. We're trying to make it back to them.
Mm.
You suddenly feel the desire to make it back to them dissipate.
Okay, that's not good.
You did hear the phrasing, right?
Wait, what? No, I didn't actually hear his phrasing. What did he say?
Say, you didn't give me the reason why you were here.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
I can't believe I
my-
actually managed to trick you guys with one of those. Finally,
Well,
my
you-
life
you
is
tricked
complete as a
me.
DM.
I'm not gonna lie. You may have cut out for me.
Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, you suddenly feel the desire to return to your teammates fading. After all, what have they been aside from annoyances, thorns in your
I'm
side?
putting my hand through my sword. Basically, I'm just trying to basically get pain to overwhelm whatever sensation's happening now.
Okay.
And
Your hand hurts. You still don't really have the desire to return to them. You
I'm
still
gonna
have
think
the
of little
desire to
buddy.
return to the surface. You still have the desire to continue with everything else, but not to return to your allies.
Hell did you just do?
What did you just do? You were the one that gave me it.
Gave you what? Huh?
Your reason.
You have about
Oh.
2 seconds before I rip your throat out.
Hey, come on. We don't wanna anger people.
Ah,
Or
so you'd injure
know,
me
those
after
of
I
them
offered
who-
to return you to the surface. After
That's
I
not my
made a fair
reason.
exchange.
He's just got a bit of built up anger. He's not much of the, I guess, explorer of this world. It was mostly my idea. Just I like this world. I like the Fae a lot, so I'm sorry for him. He's just not quite
I'll say
familiar
this
with
for
how
your-
things work.
I'll make this a little clearer and say this for your own benefit. It'd be more advantageous for you to have my reason for returning to be one of friends and allies. Without it, I'm a little less jovial.
Yeah, he's got some anger issues. But we all have our issues. I
You do
think, so-
realize the position you're in right now. On a lake,
Yeah.
over water which is sap from the Great Dryad, on the way to the Great Dryad herself. She'll
Oh, so
revive
that's
me
where
if
you're
I fall
taking
into
it.
this. As for
Right.
you, might be a different matter. Now, if you don't cooperate, I'll sink this boat. And you'll both
What the hell do you want?
He wants
want
to take us
you-
to the Great Dryad.
to stop making threats that you can't afford to make.
Well, then why are you making threats and doing the whole double crossing thing? We wanted you to take us up above ground, not to the Great Dryad where we'll probably get killed or something. Like,
I will take you to the surface, and I will take you to an area slightly on the unseelie court side, provided you don't attack me. If you do attack me, however, I will sink this boat, and then you will both probably die. So fact of the matter is, you've got one option, and that is to stay on this boat until we reach the surface, which is the agreement we originally had, and stop criticizing the way things work in the Feywilds and the fact that you got duped into a simple trick.
well, I gotta give credit where credit is due, and yeah, a bit of a trick there, mate. I can respect it, but it doesn't
Don't try
really
me.
make us feel.
I've had enough of tricksters.
I'm just gonna death stare you real quick, like, come on, don't.
One side of his
try
face
and
is twitching,
suppress-
the other. One side of his face is twitching, the other one's completely straight.
I'm gonna quickly mind link, do the raise eyebrows, eye contact thing.
You'll hear two voices. You'll hear two voices going off at once instead of just the normal one.
I'd advise you to be careful, boy. Letting that one out wouldn't exactly be the wisest decision.
I'm
Okay,
not
before
trying
I
to.
give him a look, that's like, how do you
You will
know?
see
I'm
the
going
paddle
to-
that he's using for the boat. He will just pop it down onto the river floor twice. And you will see various tendrils of what looks like kelp will come rising out of the water and preparing to lash the boat down.
Okay, I'm
not
mind linked
trying
Ascension
to
at the moment, right?
Do anything.
I'm mind linked, right?
You're
Yes.
knock me out. Only for a little bit. Just do it, okay?
Senshin, you will feel a grapple check against you as the couple of those things are attempting to shove your head under the water. Make a grapple check with advantage.
Yep.
During this mind link,
I
I'm
don't think
gonna say-
I don't think I need to
Yeah,
check my
I don't
numbers. I feel
think-
I beat it.
I don't think you could fail this, but roll anyway, just in case you somehow get
I
two
did.
nat ones. Okay, yep,
I
never
did.
mind. I didn't see it, sorry. Alright. well, the guy will just tap the river bottom 3 times. That's enough. I told you no. And he will just be staring at the kelp. I am not ordering this kelp.
I'm doing my best to keep him under control.
I'll return you to the surface.
Try not to continue with more juice. I can't verify how long I can keep it under.
I'm going to try and charm Senshin with mind your business.
Okay.
Just so
Senshin,
he can just
do you agree to be charmed?
Yeah, anything to keep to prevent possible outbursts.
All right. Well, if that's the case,
Okay.
then you are charmed by Gemini. If you wish to get out of the charm, and Gemini does not, then you will have to make a wisdom save. Until then, you are charmed until the end of her spell.
So I yell out at him, you know, it's a verbal thing. Mind your business! And so yep, he's charmed. And I turn to little elf man that's helping us.
Excellent.
Look, like I said, he's got a few issues. I'm really sorry about that. Please don't sink the ship. We can benefit from this. You get your pancakes, we get up there. Hell, I'll throw in a few more pancakes. Just
That threat
for the
was only as a
trouble we've
precaution.
caused.
Provided that you two both stay in the boat and do not attack me, then I will return you to the surface on the unseelie side and you will be fine.
Alright, I like that.
I say that with full sincerity. And he will just grab up a bit of the water, shove it in his mouth, grab up a bit more, and just go, you know full well that water is from the Great Dryad themselves, and you know full well that I can't lie. Provided you do not attack me, I will take you to the unseelie side of the surface, unharmed. And then I will return down here.
I like that.
That is the
Thank
deal
you
that
very
we are
much.
operating on. The terms will not change unless I am attacked, at which point I will be acting to defend myself.
Fair enough, fair enough.
You know
I'll
that I
still
can't
throw
lie.
in 2 extra pancakes for you, just, you know, just for the trouble.
Alright.
Yeah. You're welcome, and
Then
thank
we have
you
a
again.
deal. And he will just continue rowing you up to the surface of the Feywilds. As you will
Okay.
see that you manage to continue to go up through what looks to be some kind of cliff, as he is effectively pulling the boat up with his own strength. And you arrive about here.
Alright, I'm gonna quickly mind link again with Senshin. And do the sign with the eyes and the eyebrows. Are
Alright.
you accepting?
This is the
yes,
surface.
just assume yes at all points, Gemini, for me. Unless Alex states otherwise, assume yes.
Okay. Are you good to be uncharmed now? Are you
The guy
Say
will take the
he's
extra
quieter.
pancakes, wave goodbye, and then go back under. We'll see.
Thank
Bloody
you very
fire
much.
passengers.
Enjoy the pancakes. You Gucci now, bro? You good? Like,
I'm better, but this is the kind of realm, these kind of people he hates more than almost any other. Liars and something else, which even he's not telling me.
well, we got mysteries within us that we can at least connect on. I'm sorry
Reason-
to charm you
I
like
also wanna-
that, but
No, that's for the best. Just
I'm glad you think so. I will
Gemini.
break the charm now.
I'm just gonna say this now. You'll notice some smaller horns are starting to poke out of Senshin's hair.
Oh shit. Maybe you should wear a hat real quick. I don't know if
They're
they'll
not,
they'll
they're
like
not
that.
big. You don't only notice it because you actually have seen him a bunch. But after the little scruffy hair, you start to see some black tipped horns.
Now I want you to tell me if he gets loud again, so I can help
Yeah.
with that.
I can do my best, but well, if he gets that, he's completely immune to being charmed.
Yeah, so I need a little bit of warning when he's like not as quiet, and then maybe I can get a charm in. Maybe I can even like.
He wouldn't be angry at you though. His anger was entirely situated at that person.
Yes, but that could cause very big problems for us.
Yeah.
and I
Having a
am
giant
part of this
murderous
party
cannibal
with you.
probably isn't a great idea.
Yeah, we want to get out of here without being charmed by the Fae or anything to stay here. We want to get out, and we want to make sure that they don't try and take us to the Great Dryad, because I feel like that would be bad, and definitely not to the Sealy Court. They'll
You are
I
currently
pretty
about
sh-
here, by the way, so you're close to the
Yeah.
Sealy Court, and
Unseelie.
the Unsealy.
Unsealy. Yep, sorry. Fuck, how am I getting it wrong? I'm always the one who gets it right. Bloody hell.
The story
wanna-
must
we
have
still
really
need-
shook you.
Regardless, we need our reason back.
Yes,
We want more of it.
and I don't think they'll accept we're going back to our friends, considering they want us here. So we should say that we are explorers, that we explore between the Unseelie Court, the Sealy, just the Feywilds in general. But there are some places that we have yet to see, and where the humans are just one of those places.
Mm.
And your horns coming through might actually benefit us because
Going out.
they won't immediately see you as pure human if they end up seeing those little horns.
They will likely
So-
assume that he is part satyr. So they will assume that he is a native born of the Feywilds.
Yeah, see, exactly. So we need
And
to.
so they recognize you, and they'd assume he's a satyr, which means that they'd likely be more likely to assume that you guys are Fey.
Okay, that's good.
A good thing.
But we are explorers, and even if it gets to a point where they don't like that reason, we could even say that either the Great Dryad or the Sealy
Black
Queen,
rat teeth. Got it.
have ordered us to do that.
I'll take exile if that's a fucking option.
Exile. But I might want to come back. You know what? No, we're getting out. We're getting out. No matter what, we're getting out.
I
I
didn't
can
say for
pop back in.
both of us. I also meant myself.
Yeah, I want to. What? You just leave me down here?
No, I mean as in I would take exile. I'm not sure if you'd take exile, but for myself, I'm fine not coming back here.
Well, the
If you-
Sealy Court kind of.
Was it poor phrasing? I think it was more so poor phrasing on my part.
Eh.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Ugh.
our reason can't be to find our friends. It should be.
Oh no,
'cause
apparently we
they're
don't
not
have
gonna
that
take that.
anymore because this realm was fucking stupid and I hate it.
Yeah, it's not all that bad. We got a bacon
Oh,
tree.
I remember seeing one of those back in, the kingdom we left on the boats.
Don't
Pinko
say
puts them
that
everywhere
out
because he
loud.
was bored.
Oh. Huh. Good creation of him, I think.
Senshin, perception check.
Sorry.
Alright, let's see.
15.
Alright, cool.
Wait. Yeah, 15.
You will see what appears to be a barrel walking towards you. It has arms and legs that are fairly spindly, and it looks like its face is just carved in and moving around, but there is a barrel walking towards you.
Hello
I'm surprised it's
there.
not rolling.
Hello. Hello there.
Um,
What is your name?
Mike.
Hello, Mike. You're a very handsome barrel.
Oh, why, thank you. It's very
You're welcome.
nice. I'm not from around here. I got caught up here a couple of years back. A couple of my friends got thrown overboard when we were voyaging to this empire, but alas, I got lost along the way. Fortunately, I think I may have an idea of how to get back.
oh,
That's very
we're the
convenient.
same, so that's helpful.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a descendant of Spiky Mikey, the leader of us barrel people. Most of us aren't from the Feywilds, Most of us are from the surface.
There are barrel people? That sounds so cool.
Yeah. Barrel
Oh.
people.
Also, there are also magic hats that change reality, to be fair.
Oh yeah,
You know,
magic
this-
hats. I remember hearing a lot of stories of that from my ancestors. They tell tales of the magic hat that would have all sorts of amazing properties. It used to be what granted Lord Pinko his magic, but now, of course, that's an entirely other thing.
I'm just gonna take off my wizard hat, look at it, and then put it back on. I hope my hat is just a hat.
I'm not
It-
sensing
Yeah.
any magic from it. The magic
No,
hats are
you
known as
would have
something called
realized.
a magic tick. It essentially takes some level of mana from you, but in exchange it can have some chaotic effects, sometimes significantly more powerful than what you could do by yourself.
Oh hell no!
Hell,
I love chaos.
even while Lord Pinko was limited in his strength, he was able to alter reality on a fundamental level with a phrase, sometimes with that hat.
Wow, that seems
Utterly
in the wrong
terrifying.
hands. Yeah, Pinko's hands. Wow.
He, did you forget the thing about how he's always hearing it and directly keeping an eye on me?
No, I didn't forget. It's more so, well, I've already been turned into sentient spaghetti. I'm kind of prepared to be punished again no matter what I say.
Oh,
Well,
sentient spaghetti.
a
Interesting.
single strand of spaghetti will fall down on your head.
So you will understand what it's like to be a barrel person. It feels rather similar, actually.
Yeah, I had buckets for hands and feet, I think.
No, you were a bucket, and then you just kind of stuck sentient spaghetti arms and legs outside of it through. That was a weird day. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was very strange.
Then
My
you would
memory's
understand my
foggy.
predicament. You see, most of the portals back to where I came from, well, they're in the water, specifically in that lake, and I'll point over to it. Problem
Son
is,
of a
I'm a bit
bitch.
too buoyant.
Oh, true. Maybe if you,
But-
filled yourself up with like something heavy,
What I'm
it'd, like,
thinking,
weigh you
if
down.
if you're trying to escape as well, we could perhaps help each other. You could add some weight onto me, and I could keep an area of clean air for you to breathe in. After all, I am the barrel, and you'll just see him pull off his hat, pull off what looks to be the top of the barrel, and if you look inside, it's just a barrel.
Wow.
I still don't fully understand how your species works, but cool.
Quite differently
I-
to a lot of other ones. We're not actually an artificial one, come to believe it. We actually
Yeah.
are made from, well, sentient trees. We are made from the corpses of sentient trees. I guess you could say we're kind of like undead, but not really, because we're still alive in our own way.
Yeah, yeah. I must ask one thing though.
Mm.
Why did you think to approach us in particular, and why did you reveal all this information so quickly and willingly? What's the catch?
Well, you looked like you had no idea where you were going,
Oh
Yep.
shit.
so I
We need
made
to
an
work on that.
assumption that you were from out of town. Also, let's face it, if you were a fae, then who knows, you might have given me something to do for a bit. It's very, very boring here sometimes. All of the
Yeah,
tricks
as a
that
barrel,
they
you're a bit
use
limited.
are only really effective against people who are still, well, able to require to eat or drink or do any of that other stuff. It is very boring when you are just a barrel.
Kind of undead, but not quite undead barrel too.
It's
What
just.
What do you think
Well-
you'll do when you get up, like, away from the Fae? Well, are you just gonna be a barrel up there?
Well, I'm always a barrel, just like you're always a person. I can't exactly determine your race. I'm not a people, I'm a barrel.
I'm not always like this. At one stage, I had wings.
Cool.
It was cool. Yeah, can you imagine like a barrel with wings? I think that looked pretty majestic. Like,
I have actually seen a couple
yeah.
designed like that.
I'm gonna do an
Usually-
illusion spell that like adds wings to the barrel, just as a look to be like,
Ah, looks
that
pretty
looks pretty
fancy.
good.
Yeah.
I like
The
it.
only ones I'm aware of are, well, some from the Sky Islands. Some trees from there. The barrels from them are designed with wings, but the barrels from the surface, not so much. You should see some of the barrels from Avernus, though. Man, they are lookers. I suppose
Also,
you can understand.
Utterly terrifying.
Oh, yeah,
Look-
of
Never
course. They can
thought
set
I'd
you on
think-
fire with a simple gaze.
Oh,
By all
wow.
means, they can kill you with a look, but oh, is it worth it?
They sound like some hot barrels.
They
haha.
are.
I'm just
Right.
gonna look at Senshin and think, like, just kind of whisper almost. I didn't think I'd like talk about attractive barrels. but here we are.
I apologize. I
Question.
do need to quickly head to the bathroom. I will be back in a sec.
That's all good. That's all good.
See
Look
you
at your
soon.
little sucky piss baby.
Shut up. See you soon.
Yeah.
It's a thing that happens.
Hey,
No,
naturally.
another. Hey, sorry, we got distracted talking about genitals scientifically.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
talking about farts traveling and, balls retracting. Fun stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jenny wasn't even gross. We're just genuinely talking about this stuff normally.
Like how a fart, not a queef, a fart can, bubble down to the front of the pussy. It's meant to put the things you
Make
need
you
at
lost.
the end, so then you can look at everything else that
Anyway,
you want to buy.
I'm
Oh
just
my
looking
god,
for
I
the
have
meatballs,
2
man.
hours left. Jesus Christ,
Guys.
good timing.
guys, we should probably try and finish the session sooner rather
Yes,
than later
please.
if possible. So let's go
Yeah.
through that, and you will see the little barrel guy look you up and down and go, "Hold on, wait a minute. I know this is stupid, but I just remembered that you guys need to breathe. That could be a problem."
Hey, Jam, you got those, what's it records, right?
Air pockets?
No, the other things. I mean, the air pockets will
Uh,
work too.
Oh yes, we have a tea that we can use. Starts with B.
Buckthorn.
Now I've got, yeah, and I've got, and I've got water. Well, we both got water stuff on us.
Do you have any cups around? We can brew a tea that'll help us breathe underwater.
I don't, but I can go grab one. Tell you what,
Yeah.
you wait here near, well, around this area. Wait. Shit.
What?
Tree.
Tree?
I
Oh.
said
Thing?
that near a tree. Okay. This is bad. Okay. What I'm thinking, I go down with a bunch of rocks in me, and then I'll send out I don't know, an ice projectile. If you see it, you'll know that I have reached outside the Feywilds and that this is a good place to go down. For now, hide.
Good.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Alright, so you will just see the barrel will just go and collect some rocks, as you will see some city guards, well, what you'd assume are city guards anyway, coming from the Unseelie Court, and you will just see the barrel clanging by just apparently tapping on what you assume is his chest. You're not really sure of barrel anatomy that much, but the barrel will just go, "Ha ha! Later, suckers!" and will just jump down and will sink to the bottom of the moonlit lake.
I really hope he didn't mean us suckers.
Love to cast.
He was also looking very clearly at the guards.
I know, but I just thought it'd be funny to say that.
I'd love to try and cast some. I don't know if I can. An
I'll
illusion
just-
spell that'll make us invisible to those guards.
Do you have invisibility?
I do have. I read it somewhere. There was a. I think it was only in the case of if I get hit.
Okay,
or if
yeah,
my
that's not
HP
the
gets
spell
low, I can-
invisibility. Alright, both
Yeah.
of you roll a stealth check.
Stealth.
Okay, that's. Is that a flat, or do I actually have stealth?
I don't know. Check.
I have stealth. Yeah, that's an 18.
I have novice. That's a 7. I'd like to try and do my wild shape.
Okay. Alright, what do you want to wild shape into?
Do I remember what animals are common to the Fae?
Well-
the Unseelie Court?
You can presume that they're dogs. You think they're dogs anyway. They have 3 tails, and it looks like they're shifting in and out of reality. But they look like a dog. You can assume they're common, considering the fact that these guys have them and are walking alongside them.
They might think that I'm a rogue one though, and try and capture me.
They might.
Take your chances, Jam.
Do they? Are there rats and mice in this in the Fae? or like a bug or something small and insignificant. That's
Yeah.
what I want to be right
Yeah,
now.
there are bugs. There are quite a lot of normal bugs in addition to the fancy Feywild creatures. So yes, if you turn into a bug or a butterfly or moth especially, those will definitely be very common around here.
Okay, I'm turning into a moth, and I'm wherever Senshin is being stealthy at. I'm gonna fly onto his shoulder, and the moth is. I hope.
You do realize that they noticed you before you transformed into the moth, right? So they're just gonna see you turn into the moth. Well, unless I get a nat 1 on this. Yeah, I got higher than your stealth check. They only only have a +3, but that's not much. Oh, young lady, are you all right? Did the barrel man hurt you?
No, I am fine. Just a little shook up. What can you expect in this world? I mean, it's just, yeah, it's chaos here. I mean, kind of used to it, kind of not. You should know that as a guard, right? Bet you go into some weird situations.
Yeah, most of what we do is, well, make sure that none of the creatures from the Sealy Court get stuck over here. Some of them tend to be quite vicious. The owlbears over there aren't exactly the nicest. But are you okay?
Yeah, generally, I'm okay. I'm alright. I'll survive. How are you doing though? Has your day been okay? Good shift?
Yeah, it's been fine. We've been following that criminal barrel person for a while now. Honestly, I think it's a blessing that he's found his way out of this place. Man, he was a menace. Yeah, he's been stealing from all over the place.
Wow. I never thought that a barrel could be a criminal mastermind like that, but
Oh, he wasn't
like
a mastermind. He kept getting caught. He's just fast enough that he managed to evade us. Whew, man, I am glad that we don't have to deal with him anymore.
I'm imagining a sentient barrel just rolling down the street and a bunch of guards like chasing after it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's been happening.
That is quite the situation to be in. Wow.
Yeah. Do you have any family that you want us to walk you back to?
I guess the family that I have, well, they like me and they don't like me. That's just how family goes, I guess. So I'm just trying to take a bit of a break from family life for a bit, just walk around.
Yeah,
but thank you for your concern.
As guards, we're just trying to get you to somewhere safe. As far as we know, there aren't any criminals around here. Are you feeling safe around here?
Yeah,
okay.
things are okay. They're alright. I like this area. It's okay.
Yeah. All right.
But thank you.
That's good. As long as you're safe. Our priority is looking after any citizens or visitors here.
Do you think that barrel will come back?
I hope not. He is a wanted criminal here.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I don't know if he is a good liar or not, but I guess you don't think of a barrel being a bad barrel. Maybe he just...
Well, barrels can be a lot of things, just like people.
Yeah, the barrel. Wow.
Yeah. We don't exactly encounter many of them here, but, well, I guess a barrel will do what it wants. Nothing we can really do about that.
If a barrel wanders down here and gets trapped, yeah, I guess you don't see a lot of them. They're not really native to here, I don't think.
Was that the case? Damn it, he could have just told us and this whole thing would have been over and done with.
He could have?
Well, yeah.
And
we're not the Sealy Court. We're civilized people. Jeez. If you want to go, we've got a map for ways out, or in case of wanting to avoid ways out, then there. This place, well, it has a bad reputation. You'd know, because we don't follow the rules of the Sealy Court. We don't follow as many of the rules set by the Dryad. People are free to come and go here as they please.
So great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't lie about the reputation, but I do know of the
Most
Sealy
of us
Court
can't
and
lie.
their rules being really strict, and a bit scary to be honest. But this seems
We've had quite a few
quite
people come over here, and they seem to be pretty badly wounded. Admittedly, I can mainly comment on the creatures there rather than the people, but it's not great. If look, I'm gonna say this quietly and he'll just point towards the plants, and he will just show you a map, and it will have listed on it in. Do you speak Elvish,
Let me check.
Sylvan?
If
Because
it's in writing, I should be able to understand it.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, you will see it in those two languages, and it will say, "We technically aren't allowed to do this. I don't care. This is the orders of our king, and we follow that over the orders of other people." And it will just show not above the lake, but right next to it, and it will be a marker showing portal, and it will just say leads to human leads to human realm and approximately this location on the ocean. So I'll just get you back to the world's surface. So they'll say so it will say this portal will go to approximately here.
I'm just gonna nod, not say anything, give a thumbs up, nod, smile, point to the plants again, and then put a finger to my lips.
Yep, they will nod and then go, oh, sorry, wrong one. I was meant to put you onto this map. And then we'll go here. And then it will show right about here, which is roughly where your ship was. And then the map will also show that the bottom of this lake connects to the Shadowfell, which is where you were. So, is any of those the right location for your home? And we'll just wink twice.
I like the look of the second one. I'm sure that the family that I'm on again, off again with will understand if it takes a while to get back to them, but, you know, I think they'll like that. That it's a good.
You'd be aware of the time dilation, wouldn't you? You know, where time operates differently between this realm and any others. But that shouldn't be a problem for one such as yourself. You will just receive a note saying, "We've heard about you from some of the refugees from the Sealy Court. All good. All good things. I know I can't prove that I'm not lying since this is written. I hope you can trust that I have no ill intent towards you. I don't like the Dryad either."
Is that something I can write with as well? Because, like, I want to ask about if Sentient's going to be okay.
All right.
This time, fucky wucky.
I'm the person with a tree still.
The person will pull out a piece of paper and will just go, "Oh, here, if you wanted to write a letter or maybe mark some things on this map so that you can direct yourself."
Yeah, I'm a bit of a... I get lost very, very easily, so I probably should mark some areas out. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of
I'm
course.
just going to start writing. What about humanoid friend? How will they be? Okay?
And we'll just write, "Won't cause any problems to their bodies. You just might arrive in a different time period than you left. But with your abilities, you should be okay to get to the right time period, provided you can get to the right place."
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, is it going to be better to do the portal that's closer to land? So then if it is the bad, like the not good time that we're in, we won't just get a portal to a big body of water that no ship is at, because, you know, different time. Maybe it'd be okay to go ahead. I don't know. I guess I'll mark out both routes to my home.
Is there something you might need in order to get home? We guards our role is to protect the people, of course, and we wouldn't want you getting in too deep, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want a barrel attacking me again. It was a bit concerning when that happened. So, would you...
Yeah.
Hmm?
Sitch is just clinging to the tree above you, just whispering that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot to... I really hope this is safe. I totally forgot to introduce you to my half-brother. He likes trees quite a lot. Come on down, man.
Oh.
It's
At
good.
that point, Sitch will basically come crashing down off the tree he was hiding on.
He's just a
Ow.
bit of a scaredy cat.
The Eladrin will just nod at you, smile, and will just go, part satyr are you? And then just write down, or are you another race? I am just saying this stuff out loud because our conversation is being monitored by the Dryad.
I'm part headache right now.
Don't worry, you're right, he is.
Well, I would offer you some medicine, but it is made here, so you know the risks.
It's just I'm all good. It's just a concussion. Those aren't deadly.
It's
Do you have
alright.
any healing spells?
I do.
I'm fine.
Okay, that's
Don't
good.
worry.
Of course, you trust them more from your companions, so that would be a better way of doing it. Do you have enough mana?
I think so.
Been in conflict today. We'll be fine.
That's good.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think we'll be fine.
So,
Would you, is it a bit out of the way for you to escort us, I guess, part of the way, so we don't run into any criminal barrels again?
of course.
Or get
Please?
or get lost because one of us has absolutely no sense of direction. Cough, cough, me.
Oh, I thought you were mentioning me, because, I mean, I guess we are half siblings, so... And I'm just gonna look at him, death stare him.
Has anything been taken from you?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? It has? What are they taking from you?
The
Typically
reason thing.
Typically, it happens when someone, states to give them something. You haven't given your name to anyone, right?
Nope.
Good. Keep it that way. If you need to introduce yourselves for sake of clarity, just use a nickname or first name only. Don't give a full name. Don't state it. Don't give it. Just don't take any risks. You want to take care of yourselves, and that's far too likely to get you cornered by someone who's particularly powerful. Was it someone up here on the... Was it someone here under the rule of the Unseelie Court, or was it someone else?
Underneath.
It
Someone
was
underneath.
someone underneath. A very nice person. They...
Except for the tricking us thing, that was kind of dickish.
Oh no, I'm talking about the other person, the one that we first met.
Oh yes, no, the other person is who I'm talking about, the dickish one.
Oh yeah, he was a bit of a dick, but, you know, he just didn't want to be attacked.
Was it the ferryman?
Yes.
Yeah, it was him. He, tricked us into giving, a bit more pancakes, which was, you know, the cost. He tricked me into giving him a bit more than that. And then on the piece of paper, I'm gonna write, he tricked us into giving, our reason for leaving, which is private.
Of course, I wouldn't ask you to reveal it, but honestly, I'm relieved it's the ferryman rather than anyone else because, well, and he'll just say, honestly, keep your ears open for this one. This guy has had it long overdue. And let me just quickly look up what I had written down because I had something written down. Sorry, I'll just be a second.
That's all good. I'm trying to think of what harm has happened thanks to Gemini revealing her name that one time to the nice lady.
That was in the Sealy Court. Presumably these people haven't actually talked to each other because these two nations are effectively at war.
Wait,
people don't
her
know
name was
you
Reno,
here.
right?
Yeah, but that was in the Sealy Court. Wait,
Right.
Brina.
That was underground. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
told her my name.
well.
We'll be fine.
She honestly doesn't interact with anyone, and if she was going to use your name against you, she probably would have done it by now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Most of them have approximately 0 chill with how quickly they use true names once they get them.
Right. I wonder if that barrel's name was really Mike.
The original version was Spiky Mikey, so possibly not.
Bikey Mikey. I wish my name was that rad.
Well, Spike or Michael, technically, but...
And you'll just hear,
Spiker Michael.
and you'll just hear the Eladrin yell, "Vamir!" And the guy will appear in front of him and just go, "What? What's the... Ugh, you again. You see, I had some rather violent customers. I had to demand something else in compensation. That's not what they told me. Yeah, but they are capable of lying. I'm not. I'm not going to bind them in order to drink the water of these realms in order to confirm their truth."
I mean, I'm sure, I can't lie. I'm really bad at it, though.
I don't have a reason to lie.
You
I
can't
just-
trust
I'm legitimately,
them. They
I'm
don't.
legitimately really bad at lying.
They aren't obligated to tell the truth. They're capable of telling lies. Yes, and
Yes.
you're a tricky devil who has been the bane of our existence and who has been tricking travelers for a long time. This is your last warning. Now give them back whatever it is they gave you. Otherwise, you are going to prison right now. Do you understand me? This is your last strike before you are going so deep in the gutter of the prisons of this realm that you will never see the light of day nor the light of the moss in the Shadowfell again.
You tell him.
Fine.
I like this way better.
Fine.
I like this way better than violence.
Yeah.
Do you understand how boned you are right now in the eyes of the law here? The king does not take kindly to tricking outsiders and does not take kindly to the prospect of forcing them to remain. You aren't following the rules of the Dryad. Piss on the bloody Dryad. Careful.
I feel like we're watching...
It is good fertilizer, but
I feel like we're
don't
watching
advise
Karen.
that.
I thought poop was the good fertilizer.
Maybe it's both. I
Return.
just don't think they'll appreciate it either way.
Return what they asked for. Now. Fine. I give you your reason for coming here. And he will say it
Thank you.
sarcastically, and you will feel the desire to return to your companions return to you. Now.
Thank you so much, my kind
How kind
sir.
of you.
Now.
We'll say I imagine we both say equally as sarcastically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guards, and you'll just see several of the guards will just surround him. Now, I believe you should take him in order to have a conversation with His Majesty. And the guards will just nod and take Vamir off, and he will just be protesting and yelling the entire way and going, "I uphold the views of the Great Dryad. I am a servant of hers. Tell it to someone who cares, buddy." And he's just going to be...
Well, little boy. Haha.
I imagine Beatrice really started mocking him.
I'm gonna turn to Senshin. See? You sometimes act like a kid and it's a lot of fun. Go away, little boy. Yeah, try
Is
to
that
trick
everything
us.
that's been taken from you?
Is it?
Are you aware of anything else having been taken? Has anyone else said, "Give me your something or other"? Say, "Give me your name. Give me your reason for being here. Give me your attention." I don't know.
No, I don't believe we've had any of the others, and even then...
It typically only applies for inanimate object, for concepts. If you're talking about, say, I don't know, give me your pancake, that doesn't really have any weight or any force over yours. But if if it's something intangible, then that's where the problem is.
Well, we did
I'm
have
gonna
to stick
go-
mushrooms in your ears so the music didn't tempt you.
Yeah.
We saw a bit
Yeah.
of like
Bloody
a fae
rebels.
gathering.
Bloody rebels, they're supposed to be. I'm
They
sorry,
were
we don't have
dancing around a
jurisdiction.
fire.
I'm sorry, we don't have jurisdiction over the Shadowfell, so we mostly just clean up messes when people come up here.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the
well,
king's influence only extends so far, so we're not really able to solve all of the crimes against humanity. We just try our best.
Half that's
you
left
do a
to
good job.
the big archangel in the everywhere.
Uh, he's mostly occupied with the Sealy Court. He can generally trust us to try and undo any crimes against humanity that happen here. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it's lucky that we had mushrooms to shove in his ears, cause
you
I
handled yourself very well, lady. Well, I
oh,
don't
why,
want to say
thank
your
you.
name out loud for obvious reasons.
Do you
call her
know it?
Gem. It's what we call her because her actual name is something we keep screwing up.
Yeah,
Yes,
I kind of
and-
hate it, but it's okay.
And, well, I can call you something else, but I advise not using your actual name. Well, everything does have ears here. And
Fine, okay.
Nickname?
Call her Gem and call me Scruffy.
I
understood,
think
Scruffy.
I'd rather be like a Jeffrey or like a
Gem, I'm already going by goddamn Scruffy. You do not get to question it.
if I get to choose my name down here. Hmm.
Ooh, foreboding
Yeah,
music,
I'll have
that's
to
fun.
think about
Oh,
it for a little bit.
Sorry, I put the wrong track on.
Yeah.
Foreboding music. The DM's an idiot. That's what's so foreboding about it. The DM's being stupid.
There's nothing foreboding about your idiocy.
I know.
For now, you
That's
can
why I
call
changed
me
the channel.
G or little girl, you know, whatever kind of works without saying my name. But
Of
out
course,
of
my lady.
curiosity, do you know my name?
Yes. I
You
know.
recognize me?
I don't recognize your face, but I recognize you by description. There were quite a few refugees from the Sealy Court, or rather the remains of the rival Sealy Court, that came here after, well, after the Queen stated that she had executed you and they needed somewhere to run. So they ran to the opposing kingdom. Once the king saw that they were clearly against the Queen, he welcomed them in with open arms, and they're welcome to stay here for as long as they like. They've chatted to some of us guards about some of the stuff that happened there.
Wow, I mean, wow. That's so good of the king. I mean,
He's a good
I'm
man.
clearly not executed. I honestly
Yeah.
God don't know what happened, but I'm here.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
the king is a good man, at least as far as any of us can tell. He hasn't done anything particularly harmful or horrible. He even goes against a lot of the laws here that cause unnecessary pain.
That's like wholesome. That's a good like king right there. He deserves to be royalty. Some people aren't as responsible with their
Yeah,
royalty status.
you definitely
It's like a
notice
king
a bit
leader.
of all sorts.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well,
We should
one
probably-
time when you are, if you ever choose to come here of your own free will and aren't just, well, I'm assuming dragged down here by some, well, something, then you're definitely welcome to stay here for a while and explore. But I know now you're trying to get out, so I will lead you to the exit. If you would follow me,
Thank you.
Yep.
of course.
Yes, that is all. I don't have a question. I thought I did, but I don't.
Of course. Well, if you do have a
Mhm.
question, feel free to ask me.
I guess. How would we get back here without being dragged to the depths of the ocean? If
Typically,
we were to come and visit.
typically in ponds in forests in your realm is a good place to look. There's also any mushroom circles will get you in. They're more likely to get you into the Sealy Court though, so you might want to be careful of that.
Definitely.
Let's see.
They don't
Some
like me.
trees are formed in such a way that a portal will lead out. It's about a 50-50 chance of whether they'll lead to our realm or the Sealy Court. And Let's see. I'm just trying to think of what would guarantee you arriving at this court. Any lakes in forests at approximately sunset. If you enter at approximately sunset or during the night, you're more likely to enter the unseelie court. And if you enter during the day, it's more likely you'll enter the seelie court. You can
I'll support
generally
that.
tell that it's a portal as opposed to just a normal puddle because there's a distinct light at the bottom of it, and it looks like you're looking up at clear sky. It looks like day regardless of what time it actually is.
Okay, good
So-
to know.
That would be roughly how you'd go about getting into here. And, well, as for going out, and he'll just go, it's pretty much the same thing. Look for lakes, usually smaller than the Moonlit Lake here. You'll also want to be looking for the same tree portals. And, well, the mushroom circles are pretty safe to go into on this end. When they're empty. Don't go into them when they're full. It's a real problem. It's not really a problem here, but on the Sealy Court side, I hear that they have a tendency to use them as a sort of, well, trapping device. Not nice.
Wonderful.
That's so mean. No wonder I didn't like the Sealy Court too much.
Well, you ruled
Mm.
it quite effectively, and honestly,
Well, thank you.
trade was probably the best it's been in a long time back in your reign. Mostly because you weren't trying to constantly wage war with us because of insistence on, well, human trafficking.
Yes, because as we always know, it's always best to fight over petty disputes instead of working on fixing anything to make more money, you fucking idiots.
Uh,
Yeah, he's got a bit of an anger issue.
oh, it's
I mean,
understandable.
so do I.
A lot of us
I mean-
do. It's just that it's not very easy to express that when, well, the trees have ears, the guards have ears, everyone has ears, so what can you do, right? You can't really talk about it that
Yeah.
much, so we write. That's where a lot of our resistance comes into play.
I actually have a question about,
Of
I
course.
guess, my time
Yeah.
as the queen.
Of course.
Did you know me to take any other shape, like for example, just a big old scary monster, not the nice queen that you know?
Mm.
Anything?
There was a creature like that. It was a pet of the queen's, I think. They were in different bodies, at least as far as I can recall. One of them was a vicious beast that seemed to work alongside her. I'm guessing in your case, though, it's not separated? Interesting.
Oh, not exactly. We all have the beast within, but I guess a select few of us can show it on the outside sometimes. Most of the time unwillingly, but yeah, guess I'm just trying to piece together my past, being alive for
It's part of why they
centuries is
trusted you
kinda
so
hard.
much. Because
Wait,
you were
really?
actually able to show your bestial form. Everyone else, they show a beautiful form to the rest of the world, and then they act in truly bestial ways. It really makes you question what is a real monster. Creatures like Sparky over here, and he'll just gesture to the dog of sorts, they're seen as monsters, but all he does is, well, hunt for food, and if he's got enough food, then he's a lovely little pup. He's what is called a monster, but I think the real monsters are the people that act so callously.
I 100% agree with you. This
Like
guy
me when I haven't
looks
eaten in
so
2 days.
cute and kind, and I'm just gonna pat him.
Yeah, alright, animal handling check, please.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? I have an advantage on this, I think. Nope, that was for persuasion. When used on animals, you have an advantage provided they can understand you. Animal handling as novice. I feel like there's something else here that'll help me with my animal handling. But worst case scenario, I can just persuade him not to attack me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just do that. And then there's like a plus on that, I'm pretty sure it's like +3.
Alright, fair enough. Yep,
At this
the-
level, it should be 4.
Alright, the blink dog will allow it, but will then just continue going back to whatever it was doing.
Hmm.
Uh, don't mind old
We should
Sparky
pro-
there. He gets a little, well, it takes a little while for him to warm up to people.
That's fair.
I'm gonna talk to him
You
real
guys
quick.
are close to the first one, by the way.
I'm
Mhm.
just gonna talk to Doggo and be like, because I can't understand him. And I can talk to him. Hey, little guy. It's okay. I'm a friend, not a foe. Good job with your work. Yeah. That's all I got to say to the Doggo.
Thank you for the compliments. I don't like being touched there. It hurts a bit. It's a little
I
sore.
apologize. Is there a place that is a good place to pet you?
And
you
you'll
are
just see one of the
quite a good
tails
dog.
gesture to about the center of the back, and we'll just go, it doesn't hurt there. I got an injury, and we'll just gesture to that specific spot there when I was a little pup.
Here, maybe I can help you with that, actually.
Oh.
I have some healing spells.
Oh.
I am gonna cast Green Goodness on him.
Okay? Alright? And you will see the Blink Dog will look very happy, and the Eladrin elf will just go, oh. Oh. Wow, were you able to... Huh, I didn't think magical healing would work on that. Well, I didn't have it, but I suppose I should have tried to take him to a vet. I honestly had no idea magical healing would work. Good for you, Sparky. Thank you for your
Can't knock
help.
it till you try it.
Well,
Of course.
I couldn't. I don't really have the ability to magically heal things.
Well, is
right,
there
pal.
anything else? Like, are you in pain anywhere? Because I guess while I'm here, I may as well help
I'm
out
okay.
a little.
I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad Sparky's good too.
Yeah, Sparky's good.
That's good.
I don't think I gave you a nickname that you could call me. This is obviously just a nickname, but you
Of
can
course,
call me Harley.
Harley, I
Yeah,
like it.
Harley.
I like
It's
it.
a
Yes.
nickname I go by most of the time.
Fair
I
enough.
like it a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Call me,
we-
G or little girl.
Sweet. We nearly there, by the way.
Yeah, I
You
think we're
are at
close.
the first one, which will lead to the landmass, which is just here. So the first portal will lead you here. The second portal will lead you to near exactly where your ship was, but you also don't know what time it's going to lead you to.
I think it's probably better if we aim for the land, just in case it isn't in the right time frame. So then we can get to a portal a bit easier instead of
Okay.
in water.
But
What
how
do
do
you
we
think,
get?
Station?
I mean, how do we get to also nickname?
Harley?
No.
Oh, wait, Scruffy? Whose
Yes,
nickname?
yes.
Whose nickname are you looking
say-
for?
I know. I'm saying specifically that Gemini used Senshin instead of the dumb nickname.
Okay,
So that's
that
what
was
I
my
said
own
first.
memory moment. Can we
Yeah.
can we scratch that?
I know. That's what I was.
Scruffy.
That's what I was telling
Sorry.
you. Yeah. In
You'll
character you
just
would remember
see
it. Out of
the-
character you wouldn't. I've
You'll
done that
just see
before.
Harley will just make a little sigil, and you will just hear a cacophony of noises, and then it will subside really quickly. Okay, that should have covered that.
Well,
I
that was-
heard,
well,
but I have no intention of saying your name and using it against you, Scruffy.
It should be fairly meaningless anyway.
Still, it's best to be careful.
I know, but I hold resistance to true name stuff, apparently.
Good for you.
He's
However you
strong
got that,
man.
and it's good that you were able to have it. Definitely makes it easier. Typically, that's only reserved for powerful magical creatures that aren't tied to this. So that's what's going on. Interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know any more because I don't know about you, but I guess you're a more powerful being than I thought.
No. Apparently, I just something about my name and true name being non-connected somehow.
He's got a bit of a confusing history, much like myself. He's still trying to piece it all together. So
Yeah,
just like me, we don't know how powerful we are.
Fair
yeah.
enough.
You
So,
know what, one
G,
stage I
I-
had wings.
Gee, I
She's
think
not
we
letting it
should.
go.
Yeah. No, gee, I think we should land at the island a bit and then use you'll do to try and get us closer to the boat, if not there at all.
What was that? And you'll just see that your spirit guide will appear. Sorry about that. Hi.
Yo, what's up, man?
You referred to me, so I showed up. What do you need? And he'll just be looking at his nails. And then Harley will just look at him and go, "You really? Again? Okay."
Wait.
I don't know what's going on.
Wait. Are you that guy that was constantly flying around the Sealy Court crapping on buildings? What? No. Fair enough. In that case, no. I must be confusing you with someone else.
Can we leave now?
Of course. Alright, so... Alright, so there's a portal right there. And he'll just point to a portal between the trees. It should lead you to the land right next to the area. And you should be able to go back and forth between that freely. It should be night when you go out. So... provided it remains night, you should be able to freely pass between that and here. So,
fair enough.
I believe this is where I should say goodbye to you guys.
Yeah, we should go before I question.
Thank you very much for your help, Holly.
Not a problem.
Thank you very much,
and
Holly.
best of luck. And hey, if you ever come back here, if you want to, obviously, then you're more than welcome to explore around here. This part of the realm is actually a pretty nice place when you actually have the choice and preparations done.
Yeah.
I might come back and have a little bit of a squizzy. For now, here, have this super special pancake.
Oh.
Just
Thank
for your
you.
kindness.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I wish you best of luck on your journey. I'm sure you two will be very happy to return home.
Ah, yes, I miss my friends. Thank you very much again.
And
you good to go, Scruffy?
And you will just see Harley wave goodbye, just what looks to be just ride on Sparky, and they will just both disappear. And then reappear about a couple of 100 meters ahead of you, and then just completely disappear out of sight.
Sparky! Bye, Harley!
Alright, so
let's walk on through then.
Alright. So you're aware that time periods work a little wonky between Feywilds and normal, and it might take me a couple of tries to get you exactly where you want to be?
I mean, it should be, as long as we're back in our regular world, we should be fine, right?
Yeah, it's just, I might get you in a few wrong time periods first.
Well, while you're working on that, I actually probably wouldn't mind having a proper conversation with Gemini for the first, Steminu.
How about we step through the portal first? So
yeah,
that way,
go through.
So that way everything isn't listening. Alright.
So yeah, jump through the portal then.
Alright, you jump through the portal and you are here. I don't have a map for that area, but effectively there is a small clearing with a couple of trees that are the portal, and it doesn't look like there's any people in your immediate area. It just looks like a quiet forest.
Good. At least we made it out.
Yeah, that's useful.
Mr. Spirit Guide, you're sus. Have you been shitting on buildings?
No.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Do I need to mind link with you to sort out the truth here, or are you...
can if you want to. Do I really look like someone that goes shitting on buildings in my spare time? I think I have more interesting and important stuff to do, like, well, teleporting you through time.
Does anyone know what someone who shits on buildings looks like?
You'll just see the spirit guide conjure up an image of what looks to be Darkane. And then just... it looks like it was altered, and then he goes, wait, no, sorry, that was a fabrication that's, well, I think you can guess who made it.
I mean, yeah, that does seem like a regular trick of theirs.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Well, at any rate, I'm pretty sure you've had, an encounter with, some of the outcome of that, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
A little.
It's pretty lucky.
Well, we're still working on teaching him how not to throw up on the boat. Yeah, so while you look at that, I wouldn't mind actually having a conversation with you properly, Gemini, because I don't think we ever have had one.
Alright.
Ah, yes. How are you today, Ascension?
I'm gonna try and teleport a couple of times. I'll get back to you when I've found the right time period.
Thank you
Perfect.
muchly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spirit Guide.
On
Thank
it.
you, thank you.
And you'll just see him disappear.
Well.
Now, I'm just gonna have to ask you this now, basically, ahead of time. A couple of things I'm gonna share here. Please don't tell any of the others.
Okay. I promise
Some
I
of the stuff I'm
won't.
fine with. Just trust me in some of the deeper stuff, but for now, I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry for how I've been treating you so far. I'm honestly jealous about your ability to use magic, and especially at the level you can so easily.
Okay, both Gemini and both me are just kind of standing there shocked.
It's still be like to call character stuff, but I'm very good at it. I've had to play a lot of varied characters, so it kind of fits that I've gotten better at it.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I'm when I did training for this stuff years ago, I couldn't do it at all. Not even the most basic spell was something I had access to. So
Pretty alright now. I mean, I've seen
I can't.
worse.
I know, as in I cannot use any spells ever. I can only channel my mana through my sword. Without it, well. So, are you aware of how body attunement elements work? At least with the fighting styles.
Kinda, not really. I mean, I've seen you fight, and
I'll
your
make it
cool
a simple.
sword.
I'll throw a simple version out. Well, at least those who fight hand to hand, it's said that each of them have their bodies attuned to a specific elements. As an example, the Almighty Akaza, she has an attunement to the fire element. Oh, another foreboding. Oh, actually, never mind. I need
This
to get this
isn't
one.
meant to be foreboding, so if it is foreboding, I'll need to switch the track because this is not meant
It'll
to
be fine.
that.
Yeah. No, it's similar to that, but for all the training I did, I never once found an attunement. I only ever worked out how to use my sword. Magic is something that, no matter how much my family tried, I never managed to get. It's like I can't access it at all.
Maybe that'll change for you. Who knows?
Apparently it
I
won't.
used to have wings.
Well, no, Jonah, what I'm saying is I can't access magic at all. I can only use my mana with my blades or my martial arts. And the fact that you use it so easily and you use such, in my, I guess,
Irresponsibly.
personal opinion, yeah, it actually annoys me. So, I am sorry about that.
I guess apologies are in order on my side too. I'm sorry that I am, well, me, a bit of a brat, and I tend to rub people the wrong way a lot. Accidentally too. Like I didn't mean to be all like I guess especially with interrogations, like I don't mean to be all angry and like accusing them and such. I just want to find out the stuffs, the info.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just not very good at it. And so I
that's
think we got off on
yeah.
the wrong foot a lot of because of me too.
Yeah.
But
Now, the
for
other
your apology.
thing that I actually want to tell you, you can leave that music on because it works a little better for this one.
Okay.
Fair enough. And this one, I do not want you to tell any of the others. And
Pinky swear.
yeah. So he'll just look like he relaxes for a second. The horns on his head will jump out a lot further. His nails will grow away sharper, and canines will sharpen a lot more to look like full-on fangs. This is what I actually look like.
This isn't the deep dark monster
No,
inside that I
it is an
can't name.
Asha.
Oh, you name him pretty easy.
It's a little easier when I'm not focusing on maintaining the human form.
Oh, so that's the big issue with trying to repress him is you're focused
not
on looking
human.
more human.
Yeah, I'm not human.
So what are you?
Have you heard much about the Oni?
I know of Onis, but the Oni?
Yeah. Our race.
Yeah, I've heard of yeah, the race of Onis. They're
There's
interesting
maybe
creatures.
30 families of us across the world.
Wow.
Each one hides amongst humanity as best they can because we're treated as the enemy.
I guess because of your appearance, mainly?
It's not just that.
What else?
Thousands of years back, we don't even know how long ago, someone cursed one of our ancient ancestors in a way that is near unpreventable.
I'm gonna kill him! Sorry, continue.
When we were given a curse that we can't take out of us, because it's a curse that unfortunately is offset by a blessing.
Oh.
We desire human flesh.
No wonder you like meat so much. Oh, it's making sense now.
You have to yeah. We desire it to the point that it can offset our sanity and stability. Because when we eat them, we gain their strength, their abilities, their power.
Please don't eat me. I know that I am a magical being, but you don't
But
want
once we do that,
badly, right?
we start to lose our grip on what humanity we had more and more until eventually we only really desire more power.
And what stage are you at?
I'm early. We offset as much as we can now. When I said I need to eat meat at least once a day, it's to offset those urges.
Wow.
It's not like it's a choice. We have to do this.
And I guess someone who can time jump, it really wouldn't matter in the case of this curse. I mean, I'd love to go back and try and prevent them.
It seems like it's constant. But
you know, at the same time, it makes you you, and to be honest, I think you look pretty cool. I mean, it looks better than being human to me, but I'm also not scared off easily like the bunch of pussy humans.
It's not humanity, it's the problem. There's another one.
Another one?
A single clan that's taken the hatred too far. The Yabin.
What have they done?
You remember Roshan, right?
Yes.
Much of her family were killed by the Yabin. Hunted, eaten, all while she was still a child. The head of them, Tenno Yabin, says we've even said to have ordered the attack as an intent to show that he was done hiding. That he was done being told to stay in the backgrounds of society, and instead it was time for us Oni to actually have a place in the world. Or rule it, I don't even know.
I mean, there are other ways to come out of hiding, but holy shit. Does Rajan...
No, I don't know. I hope not.
Does she know about you?
I really hope not.
Does Taishiro know?
No, none of the others do. Not even David. I've done everything I could to hide it because...
Well, you'd be a bit scared too, I understand. Like, to come out as you are, I mean... I guess... Well, you revealed a secret. I guess it's my turn. Well, I'm a bit patchy with my history, but I do have a bit of an urban legend. It's a bit well known and feared, but it's not really linked to me immediately. I am connected to a legend called the Two-Faced Witch. Once they know that connection is made and that I am the Two-Faced Witch, they'll fear me and do anything to pretty much help me get out of their town to avoid danger. And I basically got that because, well, as you see, when I get angry, I turn beast mode. I don't really have a choice in it anymore. Just if I get to that stage of anger, I turn, and not a lot can subdue me, and I hurt my friends sometimes. So it's no wonder they think of Gemini, two-faced witch, but like I don't think my name's been connected to it yet. But you know, even the people that did know me like years ago when I was apparently queen of the Sealy Court, I'm not too sure if they made that connection of me being the two-faced witch, but that's part of the reason why I enjoy presenting myself as, well, a child, because people won't fear me as much immediately, at least, and unless I piss them off. And, well, they'll treat me like an innocent soul that just kind of wants to explore and gather friends and information, and not just some big beast that is there to hurt them. So I can understand hiding the dark sides of ourselves for the sake of others.
I got freaking 2 of them.
Yeah, it must kind of suck. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But please don't tell the others about my legend. I don't really want the friends I do have to get scared and run away.
Why would I do that? You felt willing enough to share that after I was sharing it myself. That would just be cruel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you did throw me overboard 2 or 3 times. I wasn't counting.
Yeah, so...
And I did annoy you a few times, so...
I'm gonna be honest, Jem. I did not think I could throw you that far. I thought I would maybe throw you off just this little side of the manatee, not, you know...
that far.
Yeah.
I couldn't swim back.
Yeah, no,
honestly
honestly did not know I could go that far. That's news to me.
Well, I honestly think that's a bit of a success thing, because information was found out. You can throw people at least my size and weight pretty far.
Sorry. Okay, a little off topic, considering it's not topic, but I just thought about something.
Yeah?
Chuck you, use wild chip as something huge. We use you like an improvised missile of doom.
That'd be pretty cool, because like as soon as like on impact, I could...
transform into some sort of like giant... transform like a big thing, like a bear or something, and just slam them into them with like a bear going at the speed I threw you at. That'd be really good.
Yeah, it'd be so good. I mean, I've always been thinking, if only I could control my beast mode, because, well, if I could utilize that in a battle and, you know, go against my foes not just as a tiny girl with magic, but like a beast,
well,
that would help.
I might actually be able to help you with that.
Wait, really?
Well, the thing is, we're kind of nearly unkillable. The first of us, Orochi, died at the age of 2000 of an illness. We never, not once the entire history of our race has one of us died because of age. In fact, once we hit, I'd say, biologically 25-ish, we stop aging.
Wow. That's a pretty good age to stop aging at.
Yeah, no, not only do we stop aging, we're nigh unkillable. Actually, case in point, just pull out the sword and shove it straight through his chest.
I was about to say, hey, can I test that out real quick? But hey, you beat me to it. Do you mind if I wiggle the sword around a little bit in there? Because
it hurts like hell, so please don't wiggle it too much.
just a little bit of a wiggle. And I'm gonna use my float, Mr. Goat, levitate, just so I can like wiggle it around and have a bit of control over it without touching it.
You can't do that to an object which is inside the person. No.
Probably
but
not.
It's like it's visual, like I can see it still.
You
I can see the end of it.
You can, but the object is inside a person. You can do that when the object is outside of the person, or you can levitate the entire person. You cannot levitate an object which is inside a person.
It's more so just so I can control it telepathically, but...
Yeah.
You cannot do that, because that is not how it works. That is not how
Okay.
your spell works.
Fantastic. Can I pull that? I'm gonna pull the sword out of my heart now.
Okay.
Yeah, please do. It's kind of
Okay.
concerning at this stage.
Mm.
Don't worry.
Did you need some healing just so it goes away a bit quicker?
1 sec. And you'll just see the bleeding start to slow down. Okay, then just heal up the cut around it. That'd be nice.
Mm.
Oh, that's so interesting. And she's going to get really, really close to the injury, just like looking at it. I'll heal it in a second. Just what the hell?
Well, as you're looking at it, you'll see it start to knit together quicker than, well, it should.
What the hell? I
As
cast
I
my
said-
green goodness just to speed this up, but what the hell?
We're
Oh, I should
nearly
probably
we're
do
also
that.
nearly unkillable.
So useful. I mean,
Hell, it
you
said we have
retain
more-
your memory and everything.
It said we have more than one life. Actually,
But-
a lot more than one life.
How many lives do you think you have?
It's
Like a
a
million?
saying. More so, we are just really hard to kill.
Wow. That's. I mean,
So if you ever want to try it, training against me isn't a terrible idea, seeing as how, you would... Well, I think it'd be easier for me to kill you than you would have it to kill me.
yeah, and even though I'd come back still, I like having my memories. I just found out that I used to have wings. I'd like to remember that.
That's fair,
That
that is-
kind of hurts.
Blind is
I
cool.
want to be that shape now, kind of, but like at the same time, I don't want to be an adult. People will treat me like an adult, and I want them to treat me as someone innocent and pure and not at all a dangerous being.
But so you want us to keep treating you the same way we've been treating you this whole time, or...
Not you, man.
I mean, the rest of us. I'm not including myself. God, no, I'm a little stupid.
Because, like, if I knew that you were near unkillable, I would have tried to kill you so many times up until now, but
Yeah, please,
I feel
please
like
don't,
we
because
had
I'm
a
pretty
bit
sure
of
the
a
others
connection
don't
here.
know that one.
Oh, I won't tell them, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll just, I
So-
wish that I was almost unkillable so then you could take out your anger on me sometimes, but don't try and kill me, please. My
feels
memory will
unhealthy.
go away.
That feels unhealthy.
Yeah. Don't worry, I won't try and kill you. But I will
So,
say before this this bond that we have, I assume that we have it. Before then, God man, I wanted to kill you on so many occasions.
That's fair. So, fresh start?
Yeah. I mean, let's go with somewhat fresh because I kind of want to remember what we just went through. That was pretty cool. and
Well, I mean,
expressive.
let's let go of the whole, old anger and resentment stuff as much as we can.
Yeah. And a tip going forward with this, do I dare call it a friendship?
Something like that.
Oh my god, friends. Please do not grab me by the hair, or mainly just don't grab me
Yeah,
unless
so
it's
for
to
the
get out of the way.
Yeah, all the fastball special. Using you as a missile to throw a bear at somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
We have to work out a way to practice that later, don't we?
yeah, by the hair is a bit too
Maybe not the hair.
painful.
Maybe
yeah,
your-
maybe like grab my shoulders and
Ooh,
like around my
actually, the
arm.
shoulders. If I do it like that, I might maybe there's okay here, the small of your back around here. You think that'll work?
Work. I mean, if you we got to work on the direction, so then it's like
Yeah.
a
So we have to work a way to practice this, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Then we could also stand on the other side, our target, so then he can catch me if
Yeah. Actually, no. What if we give him what if we give you one of our anti-grav runes? So when you're about to hit something, you can activate that and it'll slow your momentum.
That'd be pretty good. We can practice like that.
Yeah,
Draw a big
that'll-
target on David's chest.
Throw you at him. Yeah, probably shouldn't test the bear on David. That feels mean.
Oh, not that bad. No, I could never do that to David. I mean, I would call him one of my bestest friends, other than my little buddy. Where is he? I miss
Yeah.
him.
Speaking of
Where
which,
the
we're back in
hell
the
is my
regular realm. Why
spirit
isn't he
guide?
here? Speaking of which, why the hell isn't little buddy here now? We're in the regular realm again.
I guess
Little
he's
buddy
with
is
everyone
still on
else.
the ship waiting for you. He couldn't exactly go all the way down all that water. Anyway,
Fair enough.
I've got a
little
portal. It should be to, I think, 5-10 minutes before the time period where your ship's going to arrive here. It's going to be before the encounter that you guys had with the underwater zombies, so there would be 2 copies of you, at least.
Is that going to
but
be a
if we-
problem?
Well, I think as long as considering
You've
if they're
already
super
had multiple
fast-
copies of yourself in the same location
Oh,
for a couple
yeah,
of
with the-
minutes.
So what? Well, here's the thing, Gemini. I think in this case it actually might work without any overlap because if it's after those copies of us gets like sunk into the portal, then what will happen is that this whole thing will have happened anyway. So we'll technically have been those copies. So while we were underwater, we appeared back on the ship as us now. So we weren't copies. It'll be like
Yeah.
so
The time I'm going to be sending you back to is probably the 11th of Vetris. The time period that you were currently up to before this whole Feywild's Shadowfell fiasco was the 15th of Vetris. I can set you forward a couple of days, but the ship won't be near you. You're going to need to row out your own way in order to meet them where they are now. So you can either have overlap for about 4 days, or you can get your own boat and go to the location where the ship is going to be.
Okay, so
Pretty funny to
you
annoy
wanna
my
do-
own self for 4 days, but we
Or
should
you
probably
could
not
try
do
and
that.
contact
Yeah.
the ship in the present day and just tell them where you are. They would have to backtrack to get you, but, I mean, if that's something you want to do. Or
Which one do you want?
Gemini could wild shape into a sea creature and you could just arrive at the, well, roughly present location.
wait, can you turn into one of those giant, super huge manatees?
I mean, if I've seen it before, then yeah.
It's technically
will-
too big for you to turn into that large of a manatee, but you can turn
Oh,
into
yeah,
a
true.
large-sized manatee, which is about the size of David. You can turn into one about that big.
Oh, wait, maybe like a big maybe some sort of big super speed turtle we can surf up on as.
I'd love to really mess with our mates with like you saw us just disappear into the water and ta-da!
Then what and then what I show up riding on a turtle version of you. Yeah, that sounds pretty sick. We should do that.
Yeah, like
Okay,
can,
I like that plan.
So,
Yeah, and I can,
the
like-
big question, do you guys want to
Hmm.
show up before the battle, just after you guys disappear, or about 5 minutes after the battle when they've already done all the fighting? What do you
probably
want?
after the fighting
Probably,
would be good.
probably after the fighting. Like that's the way we have the least overlap.
Yeah,
Potential of fucking up our own futures or pasts.
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. Well, if that's how you want to do it, then that's how you want to do it, and a black-rimmed portal will appear in front of you. Might want to wild shape before you go through the portal, otherwise you're going to have to do it in the water, but that is about at the end of the fight, so once you head through that portal, you will appear surfing on a Gemini, and you'll be able to tell them all about your adventures.
Well,
Mhm.
you're right about changing into a wild shape here. I gotta make sure I can swim. So,
I mean, I'll
if
carry
it's
you through the
possible-
portal. I'll carry you through the portal, and then we'll switch as we fall.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna control some water out of it so I could like swim up into the
Nah,
portal.
nah. I'm rich as fuck. I want to do it this way.
Okay.
Alright.
Maybe when we get to the ship, I could like make a almost not a ladder, but like it looks like a slippery dip to the water to the ship, so then we can like swim up and just land on the ship.
Yeah, let's do that too.
That
Well-
seems like majestic and really like not needed, but it'd be cool.
I mean, look, let's be real. I think there's one thing we can agree on. If you have a choice between being normal and extra, it's always extra 100% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why my hat's so big. I mean, it's not magical, but it's probably a
I
good
mean,
thing.
Why do you think all my attacks are super overcompensation giant laser blasts? It's because it's cool.
I mean, I just thought you were overcompensating.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, look at
Yeah,
this
it
stuff.
is pretty cool.
Would you
too, as
not?
well.
Would you not do that sort of stuff if you could?
Yeah, I mean that's why all my spells have funky names instead of let me see
That's
my
so mine.
blind. Yeah, my blind. It's not just blind. It's don't look at me.
I mean, why do you think my let's see, my attack that slows someone down, permafrost, which is way cooler than,
Slow someone
Slow.
down.
Or fire pillar is way cooler than, burst of flame. Flash of lightning is way cooler than teleport lightning slash.
Yeah, and like float Mr. Goat is great for levitating. I mean, I like it.
You met a Mr. Goat?
No, just float and goat. They rhyme.
I mean,
so-
they rhyme. I was just curious if that was named after someone you had met.
No, but I mean, maybe I might have met a. We just met a sentient barrel, so
That's
we could
fair.
have met a goat called Mr. Goat.
All right, 1 sec. So he'll just close his eyes and focus up, and everything will make it look that's human. Okay, let's get through.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
already used to it. You're
Anyway,
so cool, man.
remember, I mean, I know, but the whole being hunted as a demon is probably less.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't
Anyway,
want people to hunt me either.
Anyway, time to surf on a turtle.
All right.
And
I'm gonna go looking around for some cool theme music to play for when you guys show up after the battle, because I can't wait
Surfing on
for
a
you guys to
turtle.
show up. Is there anything? I don't think there is anything else you can do at this point, so session's over.